should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better,
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Okay. It said I needed to connect my microphone. I was like, what? I was like, what? So sorry about that. It's good to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Cindy from, oh my goodness, baby, I love you, but you got to stop, Basil. Okay, hold on. Cindy from sunny South Florida just gifted 5 speculation station memberships out the gate. Out the gate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You are so awesome. I am currently trying to navigate to my current live to see if I can tell you who they went to. If you were gifted from Cindy, please tell Cindy thank you. I really appreciate that so very much. Those went to Michelle Deadman, Jersey Girl, Dolly, My Crazy Life, and Keeper of Secrets. If you, again, were gifted from Cindy and you are here and aware you were gifted, please tell Cindy thank you. And I will grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Cindy. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you. That was so sweet and supportive of you. Let me say hey to y'all. Good morning, Cindy. Morning, afternoon. Southern Cats, Hill Sandra, Fawny, Cara, Indy, Flora W, Michelle, Michael Green Chili Chicken, LJ, Genevieve. Let's see. Anders is here. Shraddha is here. Southern Cats, I think I said hey to you. Amy, Pennsylvania, Orange Rose. It's good to see y'all. Heathen, good to see you. Keeper of Secrets. Oh no, that was where they were gifted. Okay. So it's good to see y'all. Bad girl, it's good to see you, babe. Anders, I was just talking about your scrotum. I was. I really was. I didn't want you to know that I was talking about your scrotum, but I was. I was talking about your scrotum to Mr. Speculating. We were talking all about your scrotum. I want to show y'all real quick something before we get started. So I do have the audio from the neighbors in this case, and they do. I read the transcripts. I haven't listened to the calls yet. I mean, I haven't listened to the audio yet. Sorry, doing too many things at once. Um, Calling a thing says, I believe Fabian is innocent from the interrogation. Anyone else? Yeah, Edith, good to see you. I'm wondering, you know what I mean? Because I think, with Michelle only getting 12 years, I definitely believe it was a false confession, and some of his reactions seem legit to me. But at the same time, he got 37 years. How the hell did he get 37 years? So we're gonna go over what the neighbors said and they saw because I feel like it might hold a key to some of this stuff. There is no video. That's why I haven't put it out on the channel yet. It's just audio, but we're gonna listen to it and we're gonna talk about it. Before we do that, I wanted to show you guys this because I'm jealous right now. So Genevieve said she made that for the live today, and like I'm looking and my piece ain't over here, so I'm kind of upset about that. I hope you enjoy it, but where's mine at? Okay. Now, let's get into the interview and see what the neighbors had to say. So again, this is going to be audio only, but we're going to talk about it. Alrighty. Calling a thing said, they say when on meth you have the strength of 10 men. So is it possible that she did all that to Victoria? As in Jessica? Yeah, I think Jessica definitely knows more than what she's saying. There was an unknown male DNA on Victoria. I question if Mom and Fabian left during the day to go to Fabian's uncle's house to get some green. Um, and then came back, Victoria was already off the bus. See, but that's not making sense because he said they drunk a beer and left, right? And came back at after they around 12 or so. And then Victoria gets off the bus. Jessica has her. Fabian takes Victoria to the gas station to get a Coke. They're downstairs listening to music. And you didn't hear any of this going on because Victoria was there and fine when Fabian took her to the gas station. Fabian didn't leave again, from my understanding, and neither did Michelle. So therefore, they had to be either out in the parking lot listening to music or present when this man came in, did what he did, suffocated Victoria, and she died. So when did that happen, and why didn't anybody see? Now, I do think that Jessica is the only one who unalived her, but how did they not hear or see anything? Um, yeah, Michelle just agreed to what they said, in my opinion. They asked her questions and then they would say, don't lie. And so she agreed. And maybe, I don't know, my youngest is neurodivergent, okay? And she does that because, like, I don't know, for example, the solar lights got broken, okay? And so if I get all the kids together and I say, who did this? And they'll say, Naomi, or they'll say, this child did it, okay? And then I'll say, child, did you break the lights? And she'll say, no. And then the rest of them will say, yes, she did. And then I'll say again, child, did you break the lights? And she'll say, yes. And I'll say, okay, you should not have done that. You're going to have to work to get the money back to replace the solar lights, okay? Because they're like $1. I mean, she can sweep the floor for like $3 and buy 3. Anyway, later down the road, a neighbor will say, oh, well, I saw the other child doing that and I saw the other child break it. And then I'll go back to the youngest child and say, child, why did you say that you broke them? And it's like, because that's what that child thought I wanted to hear. And so maybe that's why I see Michelle's interrogation differently. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe I have a different perspective. I apologize. I thought that my live went down. Okay, so let's listen and see what the neighbors said. Hold on just a minute. Y'all get to see behind the scenes footage right now.
On the record. Okay. Okay, well.
So Anders said decapitating her and setting her on fire, and he was there. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because the only time he says he left after they got back from Uncle's house was to take Victoria to the gas station. He got her a Coke. He got him some vodka, and him and Michelle are sitting in the car listening to music. And so when did it happen? Like, you had to be there or be in the parking lot, and we're going to see what the neighbors said. So I don't know. I like that name too. Hey, Flora. I hope you have a good weekend, sweetheart, and I hope everybody else does too. Mandy said she seems challenged. Yes, she does. I think she is. Yeah, right. I think the witness was coerced by others or the officers, because she's telling them, like, she tells them the truth, and then they don't believe it, and they're like, that's not the truth. Why are you lying? And so she tells them what she thinks they want to hear. And again, that's because I have a child that does that. I think it could be maybe why I have a different perspective on it. I don't know. We're going to see what the neighbors said, because the neighbors have no reason to lie. They're not involved. So we'll go through this real quick.
On the record, my name is Detective Brown of APD. I'm with Detective Gonerman. It is August 20, what's the date? 25th?
It is August 24th.
August 24th, 2016. This is a reference to case number 160078669. We're at 4701 Irving, and we'll be contacting the residences of apartment 407. Okay. Hi. We're detectives with APD. We need to talk to the residents of the 407. Is that's you too? Okay, you mind if we talk to you in your apartment? Okay.
Can I go in?
Yeah, you mind if I talk to you?
I definitely agree with that, Anders. I think that Michelle was not as culpable and was a little, I don't know how to put it, but dim. Um, Fabian, I think, is telling the truth, and I haven't watched all of his second interview. I know a lot of that is out, so we'll watch that today too. But yeah, the penalties don't make sense. If Fabian was telling the truth and he was not involved at all, how did he get 37 years? And then Jessica getting 50, I think, is valid. Then Jessica lost custody of her own children from abuse. That was before she even went to that house. She had just gotten out of prison on sexual contact with a minor charges. And she talks about that in the audios I do have. I haven't released the audios of Jessica, but we've listened to them on the channel. It's not much because she lawyered up immediately. They're basically just getting DNA, but it's interesting. They were. I think they were. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, the detective said there's no way one person or woman did all that to Victoria. I disagree. I think she had help from some man, but I don't know. I mean, decapitating and things, you gotta add in the methamphetamine and uh, the fact that Fabian even says she was tripping out for like 3, 4 days beforehand, talking about the TV, talking to her, making her Fabian read Bible verses to her at night. She's scared because her old man's going to get out of prison and come kill her. And considering her lifestyle, that's probably a valid concern. I don't know. Yeah, he did seem to be scared of Jessica, and I would have too, honestly. Like a family member providing a false alibi to police for another family member and sincerely not seeing any moral qualms with lying to police because staying loyal family is life or death. Yeah, that is a good example.
Okay.
We just got a new tape.
Good.
I promise I won't pause it anymore. I know we're trying to get through this. But yeah, see, a lot of people think it's fake, and I'm going to listen to the second one and see what I think. But, I appreciate that we can all have different opinions and see things differently and be respectful. I'm going to see what I think about the second one, but he does lie about some things. This case has always interested me. You're the only one I see trying to dig into it. This case has interested me for a while too because I don't understand how all of these things were done to that child, and the mother only got 12 years. And so that's why I got what I could get on it.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Again, I appreciate you guys meeting with us, and you guys have been through a lot today.
Good, man.
And again, this is my partner, Detective Gonerman. My name is Josh Brown.
Maybe.
My name's Sullivan.
Hey, Rod.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we're here because we need to talk about what happened this morning.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just get the time real quick.
12.
It's 12. Okay. Can you start off with your first name then?
Rachel.
Rachel?
Rachel.
Yeah. Okay. Last name?
Scott.
Okay. Your date of birth?
It's redacted, which is good because I haven't redacted it.
505.
Okay.
593
Okay.
3135.
And what's the address here?
It's 4701
Okay.
Irving Boulevard, Northwest, apartment 407.
Okay. Apartment 47. Okay. And your name, sir?
Sullivan Scott.
Can you spell your first name?
Sullivia.
Just close the kids' door.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's fine. Okay, sir. And your date of birth?
They redacted it, and
Okay. And that phone number, is that for both of you?
that's good because I accidentally put Michelle's audio out without redacting it, and it had her social security number, and I had to redact that immediately. I was trying to type in chat. I do think that Fabian should have lawyered up immediately because I think that he had something to do with it, but I don't think it was much. I think, like he says, he helped clean up the blood because he was scared to death of Jessica. Um, Like, yeah, there's so many questions, and I still have a lot of questions about this case. Hey, Abella, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Okay. So let me ask you this. First off, did you guys call the police today?
Yes, we do.
You did. Okay,
I'm gonna save this for the other interview.
that's fine.
My wife was the one that called.
Okay. Do you by chance have the time on the phone or what time you called?
Time is 4:34 a.m.
4:34 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Would you both kind of maybe start off with how you guys even came to calling 911?
He was up and he
Okay.
just happened to be in the restroom, I think.
You were.
And
Yes.
I
I cannot sleep at night because I had a work-related issue that I had an accident.
Okay.
So I had a brain concussion and broken few ribs, so I can't sleep. So I was in the restroom doing my business, and she said, my wife told me, go check the door, someone's banging at the door, and I heard it. And I was doing my business, and
Okay.
I went to go answer. And the guy from apartment 808 came and he's like, can you call the cops? I'm scared. And I said, sure. So I woke up my wife. I just said, babe, call the cops. This guy's scared. He's beat up. I don't know what's going on, but he said him and his girlfriend and their friend are fighting, and he just was panicking. And I told him, okay, we'll call, just calm down. Just tell me what happened. He said, well, we were sleeping and
Okay.
the person just came in and hit my wife with a pipe or something. It was right on the forehead. And I was just waiting. His girlfriend came out and she's can you call the cops? And yeah, we already did. Can you just come inside? And we sat a folding chair right by our door. She sat down. She was panicking, crying, asking about our daughter. And she said, I don't know if my daughter's okay. She said that person, the female that beat her, said that she killed her daughter. And we said,
Really?
Yeah. And she said that, I don't know, I'm worried about my daughter. She asked her boyfriend, is our baby?
So I do remember in Michelle's interview that she did say that when they ran out of the apartment, Jessica looked at her and said, your daughter's dead. So I think that's what she's talking about here, or what they're referencing that that was said to her.
Baby okay? And she said, I don't know. I just ran out the door after she hit us. And I was knocking on several doors, but nobody answered. But these guys answered for us. So.
Okay.
I was on the phone with dispatch.
You were on the phone with
While
dispatch.
he was talking to them, and I was telling them, and the dispatch lady asked me what their name was, and I asked each individual what their name was and what the other lady's name was.
Okay.
But I don't remember the other lady.
Okay.
They just happened so fast.
Do you remember the injuries that the male and female had that you saw?
The male had a black eye
On the left.
on the left side,
Okay.
on the lower eye.
All right.
And then the female, right in between her forehead, right
It
by
was split.
it was split open.
And she
Oh, really?
Had,
Yes.
Yeah, she had blood on her hands, and she had
Blood on her feet.
Her feet.
And her socks are in our trash can.
Oh, they're in.
Yeah.
Were her socks all bloody too?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're in our trash can.
Okay.
And I guess what happened is
And
that
I gave her a towel.
Oh, you gave her a towel?
Yeah, a green hand towel, wet, and she was wiping her hands with it.
since she's like
And I told her,
Where's
don't.
that towel?
She
took
had it. She took it.
She had it with her.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
And,
was a green, small hand towel.
well, my wife was on dispatch on the phone with dispatch.
And she wanted to wipe her face. And I told her, don't wipe your face because they might want to take pictures. Well, I told her, don't wipe your face. And then her shirt was torn.
Her shirt was torn?
Her white t-shirt. And when she came to the door, you could just see her bra. Like,
Okay.
she had no shoes on, just the socks. Shortcuts, I think, I believe.
Okay.
And
All right.
And when she came, my wife asked her, the dispatch asked my wife what happened, and my wife asked Michelle, yeah, that's her name, Michelle, that how did it happen, how it started. She said they were sleeping, and the suspect asked Michelle, do you believe in Jesus?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle said yes, and that's when
she said she got hit with the iron.
Yeah.
That's what I heard Michelle say. She got hit with the iron. She said she just attacked me with the iron out of nowhere, and I don't know where my baby is. I said, your daughter? And the one that's 10, right? And she said, yes. And I said, oh my God. And then the dispatch lady said, well, where's her daughter at? I said, I don't know. I think she's still in the apartment with the lady. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, this is audio only. That's why I haven't put it out on the channel yet. I'll release it on the channel when I can do like an overlay of some pictures and things like that. But unfortunately, this is only audio, which is probably good. I mean, we don't want, we want the neighbors to be protected as much as they can.
How well do you know these?
well, we just moved here, and they just automatically came to our
I
house.
met Michelle 2 days prior
2 days prior to...
to this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Smith's, and
Okay.
through another friend.
Mm-hmm.
She said that just because her daughter just recently, she doesn't really have a lot of little friends.
Mm-hmm.
So she invited us to her daughter's birthday today.
Oh, okay.
Her birthday party today at 3.
Okay.
So
Her daughter's birthday party?
today.
Okay.
So she's like, can you guys come? Because, I want more little kids there from your daughter.
Okay.
So we were supposed to celebrate her birthday today. It looks like the outcome doesn't look good.
Okay, so that would explain why she came to you guys, because you guys do know each other somehow now.
The guy didn't know us.
Right, but I mean, he's associated with her, but
Yeah, but the
Okay.
guy didn't really.
you guys don't know the guy.
We don't know
You've
him.
only known Michelle for 3 days?
Just 2 days.
But do your kids know Michelle's kids?
I think my daughter knows the little girl.
Your daughter knows the
Yeah.
little girl? Okay.
And do you know the little girl's name? I'm sorry, her first name?
No.
No.
Okay. Would you mind if we had our criminalistics team come in here and just essentially photograph like the kitchen and where the trash is, and
Yes.
then we can collect the socks?
Yes.
He was holding the doorknob like he wanted to just come in. The
Oh, really?
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's
like-
how bad he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was
Knocking
shaking
at the
it,
door.
knocking it,
Okay.
trying to open the door, and I was all, what's going on? And so I just called up, can you call the cops for me, please? Can you call the cops? I'm very scared.
Right.
The first thing he told us when he came was that he said it was a friend, and then when Michelle came in, she told us it was his cousin. The girl was related to the guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Michelle said that?
Yeah.
Okay, so male says friend?
Yeah. The male said it was just a friend when he came.
But Michelle said it was male's cousin?
Yeah, he said, no, it's your cousin, your fucking cousin is what she was saying. She will
Okay.
not hurt my baby. Like, where's my baby? Like, she said she was gonna. She said, Michelle said that she's gonna kill it. She told me she's killed the baby. Like, killed my baby.
So why did Fabian say that Jessica was only a friend of his, and not admit that it was his cousin? Why did he say my friend did something, not my cousin did something? That's interesting. I mean, I think he was scared shitless, but I mean, that's interesting.
She brought out her and my baby. I was like, well, where's your baby? Like, she's like, she's still over there. Like,
So Fabian said it's your effing cousin too, Michelle?
yeah,
Is that
Michelle
right?
said it's your fucking cousin.
Oh, Michelle
Michelle
said
said
it's
that's
your
your-
effing cousin, so it's Fabian's. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So
And
what
when
I
I looked at her, I recognized her. I was like, is that you, Michelle? You work at Smith's? And I was like, she was like, yeah, that's me. She said,
so what I have here is called a permission to search. Okay. It's gonna fill it out real quick, and then if I can have you just read it. And all it is basically just gonna give them permission to come in here, photograph, take the socks, and then leave. Okay.
Okay.
you don't know if there's any blood right here where she's
No, there's none.
All right. Who's the leasee on the apartment?
Folks.
Both. Okay. Cool.
And then she's like, I shouldn't have let her stay with us. She said she needed help for a couple of days, somewhere to stay. And look what happened. She was all saying that to the guy.
She was telling him that she allowed him to stay because she needed help.
Yeah, the girl.
Okay.
And when I was on dispatch, Michelle kept saying she just got released from prison.
Oh, she just got released from prison.
Mm-hmm. No, not Michelle, but the other.
Right, the girl.
Yeah.
Just got released from prison. Okay.
I have put a FOIA in for this. That's how I got this. So far I've gotten 282 documents, and they charged me like $1 a page, and then I paid for all of the audios. I think these are all of the audios. They said there's like still 700 and some odd papers, and I'm gonna purchase them as I can, but so far I just have the 282 pages to continue to go through, and then these audios that I'm putting out now. Yeah, I was thinking I need to add it to my Patreon, but I'm trying to figure out how to get the paper documents in there, so I am working on that. Yeah, the beeping sound I think is a smoke detector, but that's in the neighbor's house, you know. I don't know. I guess everybody's smoke detectors are going off and need batteries.
This is 407, correct? Okay. All right. Sir, since you're the man of the house, I'd like to have you read it. Read this out loud, starting from right here, please.
Can
Can't really.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay. You can read it then.
Okay, after being advised of my constitutional rights to deny a search of property of person, I, Rachel Scott and Sullivan Scott, hereby give permission to the detectives Joshua Brown
And criminalistics.
and criminalistics, whom I know to be members of the Albuquerque Police, to make complete search of my persons, my vehicle, residence, which is to include all surrounding property, outside structures, and container located at 4701 Irving, apartment 407. I give this permission without threat or promise of reward, and having been advised that anything taken in such a search may be used as evidence against me or any other person, I will not hold responsibility the chief of police, the city of Albuquerque, or any agent acting in their behalf. I also give my permission for investigators' office to confiscate any and all articles of questionable nature and all type of contraband. I am the owner or agent of the aforementioned property and have the authority to grant this permission. I understand I may accompany the officers during the search and that I may requisite the premises to search at any time.
Okay, do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Again, they're just gonna come in, take some quick
That's
photos,
fine.
and then collect the socks and leave. Okay?
That's good.
All right, if I can have you sign right here, please.
So you're gonna know that she did wipe her hands in the...
Oh yeah, that's noted. We just need hopefully she still has that towel.
Well, when they put her in the vehicle, she still had it.
She did?
Yeah. In the police vehicle.
Okay. All right.
Or unless it's in the trash can.
Judy, in this trash can? Or outside? Okay.
No, she had it.
She had
did?
it.
Yeah.
It was a dark green
I seen it when
hand
they
towel.
took her out of the police vehicle. She took it with her to the ambulance.
Oh, she
yeah.
took it with her to the ambulance? Okay. All right, yeah, I'll make sure that we
Where's your criminal stick? It's
lick. Yeah. Okay. Well, again, I'm sorry that you guys have to go through something like this. It's never easy for anybody. Okay.
Yeah, they have a 10-year-old. I could already feel it's
Yeah.
not good.
And I do want you to know though that if you do need somebody to talk to or anything like that, I would urge you, if you guys are religious or anything, go to a pastor. If you're not, there are many agencies that offer counseling for stuff like this because again, like you said, you have a young child the same age as Michelle's. Okay, it's never gonna.
That gives you an idea right there of how horrific this case really was. Like, I mean, the neighbors who didn't even have contact with, didn't even see, I don't think they saw Victoria's deceased body. He's still telling them, to talk to somebody and seek help if you need to. Like, that's how horrific this case was. Wow, that's impactful.
Gonna be easy. All right. Let me leave you my card, and if you guys have questions for me or just want to talk, okay, I can even turn you on to some counseling agencies that may be able to help you too if you guys do wish to do that. Okay.
Okay.
I'm at that point where I ask you if there's anything that I have not asked that you can maybe help me out with. Okay?
Okay.
And if not, I'll conclude the interview, and then you guys can feel free to just contact me if there's something else that you remember after we leave. Okay?
Do you have maybe a second phone number we could get just in case?
Yeah, we have a second phone number, but our other second phone is off.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I didn't catch it. I guess they did hear it, or maybe saw it on the news. I don't think they saw her body, but damn. Okay, thank you for saying that. I must have missed it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
What about, where do you work?
I work at Mooney Movers.
How do you spell that?
MOONEY Movers.
Okay. It's just good for us to know because sometimes cell phone numbers change.
What's their phone number?
Frequently, so.
Mooney Movers.
505
Okay.
342 1700.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yes. So shortly, one of the criminal detectives will be coming back here, and it'll be real quick for them to come in and collect it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And so you have my card. And I'm sorry. Okay.
Sorry, you
That's
guys.
okay, guys. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah.
Well, there's a green hand towel on there. Or is that it?
That white stuff.
Is this green hand? Is this a green hand towel or no? This is a shirt.
That's a shirt.
Okay.
I do that one later.
Okay.
It's just the white stuff.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Man, she was. Gosh, that was awful. Okay, so we're gonna watch Fabian's second interview now. There's more on that audio. I had to see what else on there. It's probably got a lot of Jessica's stuff where she lawyers up immediately and then they collect DNA, which we've heard a lot of that. Hold on, just a minute. All right, this starts out right where the other one left off, and it kind of ends abruptly, which is kind of sucks, but I'm going to work on getting the last part of the interview out as soon as I can. It was sad. That was hard to hear. That is the neighbor who was crying, the girl that lives there. That was really sad. I think that they have kids, and their kids were good friends with Victoria, because remember, Michelle talks about Victoria going to her friend's house after school for a little while, and I think that might be the friend's house that Victoria would go to. So it's really sad. Anders said this case almost makes Stephen Stearns driving around with Maddie's body in the passenger seat sound normal. Yeah, this case is it's horrific. I would have to move away too.
Bro. There's no way. There's no fucking way, man. There's no way.
Probably both, bad girl. I think he's shaken from being cold and from being scared. And Basil, you said go bake your crackers. Basil, go bake your crackers. You're a big boy now. Yes, I know these aren't crackers. I'm out of crackers, so he did just get pretzels. So that's interesting that you put that. Hey, Nessa. Good to see you, love. Yes, he's very spoiled.
This one's all like weird.
This one's moving forward, and I feel like I'm gonna get ejected somehow.
What's up, buddy?
Is there a way that me and Michelle could kind of talk to you at the same time, like in the room, so we can kind of...
No, like I said, there's some detectives talking to her, so in order to make sure we get everybody's story right.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because us together can explain why you didn't hear it and why, how she's going to solve.
So let me explain this. If you guys are both telling the truth, then the stories will be exactly the same and you have nothing to worry about. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's lying, then we'll know somebody's lying, right?
Yes.
And then it's our job to figure out who.
Yes,
So that's why we don't have you guys talk at the same time.
Oh, okay.
We want to get the most honest story from each of you, so that's why we're doing it this way.
Okay.
Okay, Fabian, based on some information we've got from other detectives who are still out there, from your old lady, we have some other things that have kind of come up that aren't making sense, those we want to talk to you about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing okay, bro? Did you get some water?
Yeah.
What did you eat, dude? Was it
I
anything?
had the food bar or whatever.
It's kind of gross, huh?
Yeah.
I had one taste like cardboard.
I
Yeah.
like them.
It was pretty gross.
So he said we've got some things that aren't adding up, and we kind of want to talk to you about that. And he said, like, and like agreed with them, like he expected that. So that tells me he might be lying about something, but what? Because otherwise, I think when they said we got some stuff that's not adding up, I feel like he would have been like, well, I told you the truth, so I don't know what's not adding up. Like, I don't get that. But then again, I mean, maybe a guilty person would do that too, so I don't know.
I'm not that good. I really don't like it when I say it because I get hungry.
Okay, so,
I haven't eaten for like 10 hours, so.
hey, man,
But I'm not even really hungry. I just had my stomach just...
unsettled.
This doesn't feel... It just feels like it's a nightmare. It just doesn't feel real, guys. This really doesn't.
Yeah.
It feels like a setup or something. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me.
There's no setup. I can tell you that. We're trying to figure out exactly what happened because, like we said before, I think Victoria deserves that.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, anybody deserds that, but especially a little girl, you know?
To me, this is... I would never thought ever in my whole life. This would have been something like this, ever.
So Fabian, just off the top, we're gonna ask you this. We obviously have Victoria's body, okay?
Okay, can I ask you this real quick? Where did you find it?
Okay, so we can get into that. We have Victoria's body. Now, we're gonna do a bunch of tests and stuff. We'll collect a bunch of evidence from her body, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We can tell what kind of things were used to injure her, how she died, if something happened to her, what injuries she sustained before she died.
Maybe if they suffocated, if she suffocated or something, that's why we didn't hear, maybe? That's probably the only real thing I can think of right now, because I would have heard it and I would have got up and did the same thing I done for Michelle, but she tried to do that to her.
Okay, so at first I was concerned because he said suffocated, and she was, but he's saying it because I would have heard her screaming. Ali X said, aren't most jails cold? You think he would be freezing? They are cold. Police stations, jails, all of that, to keep viruses from spreading and bacteria down. Sorry. Shraddha said, what surprises me is that some bad criminals in and out of jails, courtroom, etc., but they still don't get in the system. They still don't get the system. Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
And so we'll be able to tell that. We'll be able to tell. Maybe I just gotta ask because of the way everything that's going on.
Listen, I can't believe this. This doesn't seem real to me, man.
Did Victoria suffocate?
I don't know. Okay? I do not know if she suffocated. I don't know. All I know is what you guys just told me now, that her leg broke. Whatever got cut off or whatever.
So let me get back to what I was talking
And
about,
that-
okay?
I should have been able to hear it, but I didn't hear it. I'm telling you, I'm
Okay, so let me get back to what I'm talking about, and it'll clarify some stuff, okay? We'll be able to tell if there's injuries on her body, if they were sustained before she died. We'll be able to tell how she died, and then what injuries she sustained after she died, okay? So that'll help us out. We will also be able to tell who's touched her.
Yeah, I want you guys to very much. Very much.
Who she touched.
Yep.
We can see if she scratched somebody, if she grabbed somebody's hair, if there's hair or clothes on her. There's all kinds of stuff, right? You've seen TV. There's all kinds of things.
Yes, and I want this to all.
Okay, so here's the question I have to ask you because of that. Because we're gonna get those tests back.
Okay, that's fine.
We are. My question just flat out.
Shraddha just gifted 5 Speculation Station memberships. Thank you so much for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Those went to Gabriella Madrill, Moon Lover, One Day Type, Rhonda Martin, and Scott Reed. If you were gifted from Shraddha and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Shraddha thank you. And I will grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you, Shraddha.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet of you. Cusco's, I don't know. He probably would eat it. It's so bad that when I make dinner, he waits for his plate. Like I don't feed him like anything with meat in it, but whatever vegetable we're having, he gets some of that. And if I make corn or something, I get worried about him eating corn because corn doesn't digest properly. So I'll make him his own little piece of bread. I'll put it in a pan and heat up butter on it, and he loves that. Belladonna, this is the case of Victoria Martins out of New Mexico. I do have a playlist on it, and the first playlist in that video gives you kind of a recap of a little bit of what happened or going over the interrogations.
For what reason would we find your DNA on Victoria on her body, on her clothes, or even inside of her body? And I know that sounds horrible, but I have to ask the question.
No. Hell no. Fuck no, man. That's crazy, man. I know you have to ask that question.
Yeah, you just have to ask.
No damn way.
Any reason I'm going to find any of your DNA in her fingernails from her fighting with you or scratching you?
Nope. Jessica. I'm telling you right now.
So this is interesting to me because if he had had contact with Victoria in any way, shape, or form, his DNA would have been found on or inside, unfortunately, of Victoria, and it wasn't because his charges did not reflect that, and he is very definitive in his answer right now. No, you're not going to find that. I think I've seen at one point where he asked them to do a DNA test. They say, yes, please. He says, please do a DNA test, and thinking that'll clear his name. He asked for a lie detector test, all of these things. So that's what makes me feel like he's telling the truth. Like, I don't think you would be so definitive about that. But then again, on the other side of that, I'm sure people have been like that did have their DNA found on the victim just due to narcissism and things like that. They thought they could lie about it. I have a feeling that he's being honest right now. I mean, he's even saying, Jessica, you're going to find her DNA. I'm telling you right now, it'll be Jessica's.
No, that's the only one I can think of right now because she's the one that wouldn't try to do that to us. She tried killing us for Christ's sakes. I wouldn't do something like that to nobody, no matter what situation or what. I've never even thought like that. I don't have it in me, okay? I would never do something like that. I just don't got it in me. I'm not built like that. I never have been.
Okay. I feel you on that. I gotta ask, you know what I mean? Because say we have people say no, and then if it comes back, there's your DNA on her fingernails and it shows that she's scratched, you know what I mean? All those kind of things, and it starts to raise some serious questions. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we got to walk away from this knowing that we've done everything we can for her and absolutely believing that everything that we have is the truth. Because I personally can't go to bed having any doubt that I've left any stone unturned to do anything to help this little girl, okay?
I'm gonna be forever with them. I owe my life, Michelle, and her family, because it was my cousin. Wow. For me to have to go through this as a person, as an individual, not knowing that this was gonna happen at all whatsoever, or not being able to notice, you don't know how I feel.
How do you feel? Tell me.
I want to be, I want to, I just feel like it's real. It is. I don't even know how to talk about it or explain right now, but all I know is that I will do whatever I can for Michelle and help. Special things for every year, just think of, so I'm thinking about this, just so I could, just why I didn't hear, how I didn't know. That's what I'm mad about. That's what I'm really mad about. How the hell did I not know or hear? I've never been in something like that.
I believe you. I think if you could have stopped whoever it was that killed Victoria, if you could have stopped him, I believe you would
I
have.
would have.
Okay.
I would have tried my best. I'm not saying that I would have, but I would have tried my best.
So, you know how we said, if things happen, and even though to you they might seem, like I know you're scared, I get it.
Yes, very scared. This is
And it's okay, you know, if you tell me something now that you didn't tell me before, and we just have to explain it. So when I asked you about taking a shower, I don't know why you don't wanna answer that for me, and you're telling me about the sprinklers, but let me just explain
I
something.
told you that morning when I got ready.
Yeah,
But I was in my pajamas when I woke up and she woke us up and did all that, okay?
so where are your pajamas now that you were in,
Right here.
your shorts that you're wearing?
Yeah, and I was just wearing
Okay.
my socks and I
And,
went to bed. And Michelle was wearing those little tangerine or like those little fluorescent colored shorts.
Yeah.
What her like I think it was a maroon kind of shirt.
okay, so if Michelle's bleeding profusely, and then you're fighting also with Jess, and there's blood everywhere, and you have scratches on you, who's gonna, like, if I were to test that scratch, whose DNA would be in it? What's that from?
That's probably Jessica's.
Okay, so
Jessica's or my baby. I don't think it was my
you
baby.
should have, if you didn't shower, a lot of blood on you,
Shower.
smears, and your nails are very clean, your
I was
hands
cleaning
look
them in there, just trying to get them out. But what I'm saying is, I ran to the sprinklers. I was soaking wet when I knocked on that door.
Well, isn't the apartment that you went to, it's right next to yours, it's in that court, so the
Yes, but when I
sprinklers
jumped
don't.
off, I ran back of the wrong because I was scared. I didn't know that
Uh-huh.
she had people like she threatened me, saying that they're coming for me. They should be there for me any minute. She told me that's scary. That scared me too. Okay, along with everything else. So I ran in the back and the sprinklers were all on and I was just running through the whole sprinklers all the way around just to see if she had someone waiting for me. And she didn't. So I was like, yeah, ran to the damn neighbors. And I thought it was her, that girl with the glasses. But I picked the wrong one. I went, you know what I mean? Went on top.
Okay, did you have shoes on?
No,
What were on your feet?
my socks.
Where-
And I just had one sock on when I made it to the neighbors, the one that actually finally actually called. Because my other one, it was on the balcony. And I know how I lost that. I was fighting with Jessica. She was trying to grab things from me in here, and I was trying to swing at her and tell her, get away from me, kid. You know, you're in trouble. What the fuck did you do?
And so where's the other sock that you were wearing?
I thought it was on the balcony. And that's where I seen it because she stepped on me, and I kind of went, and I was fighting with her, and it came
So
off.
one sock's on the balcony, and where's the other one?
The other one's in the trash can where me and her threw our socks away because they were all soaking wet and we were cold. So she threw her socks away in the 407 apartment. And then she's like, baby, you go to throw your socks away. I was like, yeah, might as well. Like, even they'll tell you that's what happened too.
Do they have any blood on them? The socks?
Michelle's? Yeah.
Okay, and what about yours?
No.
Okay, whose blood will be on the socks?
Probably Michelle's, that's it. So
Probably Michelle.
Yeah, I didn't, like, to tell you the truth, when she woke us up and told us that weird thing, and then started attacking Michelle, when Michelle said that, I I'm gonna tell you, be honest right now, I don't know if there was blood in there, but I know when I went to bed, the kitchen was clean. Okay? That's what I know.
Okay.
Okay? But, cause I was everywhere, I was trying to, like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't paying attention, you know what I mean? But I know when she was hitting Michelle, blood, right there, there was blood coming from Michelle. There had to have been, I've seen it, you know what I mean? Coming when she was hitting her, it was all over Michelle.
So let's focus on that for a minute, because it was something else.
So then maybe, I was like, then that's when Jessica's like, wow, we cleaned this blood up. We're like, wow, okay, we were scared. We were scared for our lives.
So let's talk about that for a second, because that's something that I'm very confused about.
Okay. Me too.
Is you guys are fighting in the kitchen, Michelle's bleeding on the kitchen floor.
As we're fighting,
Hang on. Just let me explain to you how I understand what you've told it to me, and then you can clarify for me.
Okay.
And maybe we can go back and forth, because what you've told me so far doesn't make any sense to me, okay? In the midst of all this craziness and irons and fist punches and scratches and threats, and you guys are scared for your life, and this chick's acting a fool, all of a sudden she stops and says, let's clean up some blood?
No, she...
Hang on, so let me just, that's how it's playing in my mind based on what you told me. And so, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like why would homegirl be tripping as hard as she is, and then all of a sudden say, well, help me clean up blood?
No, she's like, help me clean up this blood. And then we're like, okay, we'll just leave us alone, don't stop. Because I was, in my mind, I'm like, you're already fucked, I'm calling the cops, you're going down, this is crazy, you're trying to kill us and do some weird shit, you know what I mean? So I went to the door, ran to the door to try to open it, get it open, and yell at least just have it open or something, you know, so someone could like at least see something. You know, that this is going on, and I'm trying to stop it, and that Jessica has so much strength, I'm telling you, usually, I couldn't, it was hard to try to, you know what I mean?
So you said earlier that either, and I could be getting this wrong, but one of you, either you or Michelle, did start to clean up blood.
Michelle was trying to help her, and then that's
What were they using to clean the blood?
I don't know, but they're using something.
Like a towel, a paper towel?
The rag, the dish rag maybe?
Okay, what color is that rag? You used earlier.
Yeah, the dish rags we have right now is a purple one and a yellow one.
Okay, now where did you last see those?
When the kitchen was clean and they're right up there.
Okay, did they have any blood on them?
Like that. No, because I didn't wash dishes. What I did was rinse them and put them in the dishwasher because they're still a little bit dirty. I didn't turn that on yet though.
Okay, so did the rags have any blood on them?
I didn't, not that I seen.
Is there any reason why there would be blood on them when you went to bed?
No, because everything seemed fine. Like I said, we should have double checked on Victoria to see if even
Okay,
she
so
wants
now
something to eat.
let's go back to when she says, let's clean up the blood. At the moment that she said that, did she point to a specific spot of blood?
No, it's
Or
just
indicate anything specific?
she was all, I can't remember, and I thought like, and I was like, no, I'm getting out of here. And then she grabbed me like that and tried to grab me and hit me on my leg. And I was like, no. I was like, oh, shot. And then Michelle was just sitting there, so bleeding everywhere. Like, okay, Jessica, get help, say help. And I was saying it too, help, get Jessica, get, you're crazy. And then after she thought, just, oh, God told me to, like the same weird stuff. And I was like, what the hell?
So then who wiped up the blood and where did they wipe it?
I just seen Jessica wiping it on the floor like that.
When was that?
That was when, after she started hitting her like that with the thing, and I tried to escape. And then after that, went to the front door, she kind of got me and was trying to do it like that, and at the same time, you know? And Michelle was sitting there in shock.
Hang on, time out.
Standing there in shock, trying to help, you know what I mean?
Hang on, time out. You want me to believe, just so I'm clear, that Jessica is bending down, wiping blood on the floor, and at the same time is strong enough to keep you from opening the front door?
Well, what
that
happened
what
when
you're saying?
she was doing that, yeah, and I was scared. I didn't know she had it, because she kept telling me that they're coming for me too, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, I was scared. I don't know, I shouldn't have been scared or something, but I was scared.
I'm not saying it's bad to be scared, bro.
I was hella scared, man.
I get it.
So I didn't know whether, so I was like acting like I wasn't gonna go for the door, but I was, but then she was like, no, stop trying to grab me, this and that. And like, that's when Michelle was just standing there like, oh my God, I can't believe it's happening, you know? I was like, I know, it was crazy.
Why was Michelle so scared?
And then that's when she got up again, Jessica said, fuck it, she stopped like trying to do that, you know, whatever. because I started to go up to the patio because she wasn't letting me out right to the front door, you know? So that's when she followed me, and that's when I finally, she started hitting Michelle again. And that's when I said, no, stop, quit, please, somebody help. We kept yelling, me and Michelle. We kept yelling. Jessica wasn't yelling for some reason. It was me and Michelle just yelling for help, you know? And so that's when I just ended up just grabbing the iron from her, and I ran back to the patio, and then she like rushed me, and she's like, you better get down, I'm gonna hit you, and like trying to hit me and fight me for it. And I just threw her. I said, no. And I threw her, and she goes, why did you do that? I was like, what? And then she like just lost it and ran back that way, like I guess to go chase Michelle again. And that's when I said, oh, I'm jumping off the balcony, I'm getting help no matter what, even if I fucking break my whatever, I'm jumping off this, I'm gonna go get help.
So I got a question for you. At about 3 or 4 in the morning, roughly,
I was having audio issues. I think that he was telling the truth, that like he was scared of Jessica. He should have done something. And okay, I wanted to make sure it was still going. Sorry, I was okay. I was having audio issues. Hopefully y'all can hear me. But yeah, I think he was telling the truth there, that he really was afraid of Jessica, and that he should have done something, but he was scared at the time.
and maybe the time's off a little bit,
Okay.
you and Michelle go out the front door to the apartment, and you're talking.
Oh,
Go out to the front door of the apartment when
Yeah.
knocking, no way.
no, I didn't. Thank you. I was looking. Basil has gotten my headphone set, and there's little chew marks on it, and it keeps cutting in and out. So thank you for letting me know. I was trying to see about electrical tape to try to fix it. Orange Rose, thank you so very much for gifting 5 speculation station memberships. That was so sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Those went to Melissa Cruz, Petty Crocker, Proud Grandma of 2, Mary Argiro, and Looney Tunes. If you guys were gifted from Orange Rose and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Orange Rose thank you, and I will grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Thank you so much, Orange Rose. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet. I really do. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Jessica is a big girl too, without the help of anybody. Yeah. She's scary. She is like Satan's mistress. I'm telling you, that girl is something else. She's a very scary person.
Oh, it's
Do you remember that?
Oh, no, that Michelle ran out. That was the time, that was like around the time that I think I got finding help, and I tried to ask that lady, and then I went to the other place, and they finally were calling the cops, and I think that's when I came back out. Because I was telling them guys, and I'm pretty sure people can hear me, because I was like, help, help, someone please answer the door, help. And then that's when the Indian answered the door to that guy, 407. And then that's when he's like, whoa, what was going on? And that's when we were all talking, trying to exchange words, and everything was going on so fast, and I was scared, upset, and I was just pointing over there saying they're fighting, there's something going on, you know?
Okay.
And then I think that was around that time.
Well, not that, but it was just you and Michelle. Do you remember, so let me just ask you this. Where were you when Michelle said, I think she killed my daughter?
I was, we were over there at the 407 already waiting for the cops.
Okay, but were you still up? So your apartment, is it upstairs or downstairs?
It's
I'm sorry. It's upstairs. Obviously, because you jumped off the balcony.
Yeah,
So, there is a neighbor who says that you and Michelle, they saw you walking out of the apartment. It was about 3 or 4 in the morning. That you didn't even jump off the balcony, or maybe you did and went back up there,
No.
and they see
never
you
went
coming
back up.
out of the apartment.
Never went back up there. I was scared for my life.
Okay.
That's how I got. I ran to the sprinklers. It was, you didn't even check the sprinkler time. I ran to those sprinklers.
So neighbor sees you coming out of the apartment together with Michelle at the same time. When was that?
Me and Michelle? What did they say we did? I don't know.
Well,
Maybe when
a
we
neighbor
left that day
heard-
to my brother?
No. Like this morning.
Oh, that's when she ran to me and she was all big. That's when she was all bloody and she finally got away from Jessica. And then that's when I heard something. Me and the Indian guy, while we're waiting, I said, she's still in there fighting with my damn girlfriend. I don't know what's going on in there, man. Please help her. That's what I was saying. And so we heard like a door slam, and then I could hear like I could hear like talking again. So I went out there and it was her saying, Babe, where are you? And I was, I'm right here, over here. You can't even ask me.
Where was she when she said that?
She was right like downstairs by our apartment. And I ran over there and said, right, I thought, babe, I'm right here. Come on, let's go. Come in here, let's get saved. And we went to the apartment, wait for the cops.
Wouldn't she just run and keep running? Or
Well,
you know,
no,
rather than
because she
stop on the stairs?
Well, she trusted me. She was already downstairs, like just freaking out. And I yelled for her, babe, I'm over here.
Does she trust you? 'Cause
Well, she abandoned me. And she could trust me. She can trust me. I trust her.
Okay, so, Fabian, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Okay, I'm gonna try not to hurt your feelings,
It's fine.
but I'm gonna lay it out for you. I'm gonna be perfectly blunt. I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
The thing is, how could a neighbor say we got like 3 or 4 that me and Michelle, we went out of the apartment? I don't understand.
I'm just telling you what people said, but let me tell you.
That's weird.
Like I said, let me just explain something to you.
Because we got woke up, that fight happened, and I remember, like I told you exactly the stories, and I told you exactly what happened. I tried to get away. I couldn't get away.
Are you a strong guy? You a tough guy? Kind of, do you think of yourself as a manly, tough guy?
Oh, shut up. I mean, yeah, but that's like with a guy, or if I'm getting jumped or something like that, you know what I mean? But like with that, I don't know.
I don't mean physically. I mean, do you feel that you're the type of man that likes to protect his girlfriend or protect the children? You're the man of the house.
Well, yeah, of course.
You got some cojones.
That's why I got up right away and tried grabbing this gun, but I
Okay.
thought,
She said, you got some cojones. Lord.
So let me tell you what I am seeing, looking in. Okay? Nothing
and
personal.
I got scared, yeah.
I don't want to hurt your
Yes.
feelings, but listen to me, okay? Right now, looking in, I don't see that.
You know, that's a good point, Bad Girl. Bad Girl said if Jessica just came into the picture, how would she know Victoria had been a victim before and to re-victimize her again? That's another piece of this puzzle I can't make fit, because we know that Victoria had been a victim before and that she had an STD that she had had for some time. Some of the time she blames Fabian for doing things to Victoria, saying, you know, basically he's a nasty MFer or whatever, but she's a nasty MFer because she had a charge of sexual contact with a minor, and her children had been taken away as well. So who hurt Victoria before? Where did they come from? Did Jessica, I mean, Jessica might not have known she had been a victim and was going to victimize her for what she thought was the first time, and then we later find out it wasn't. But I mean, the odds of that are very slim. These are all great questions. I don't know. And I'm trying to figure Orange Rose. I'm trying to kind of figure it out with you guys. Like the Plenty of Fish thing, we know that. Okay, so Michelle says that she had a boyfriend before that. Even the one that worked at Bye Bye Baby, he caught him trying to kiss Victoria, and she called the cops, and CPS was involved in things like that, and this guy's out of the picture. But you're on Plenty of Fish, and like people are coming in and out of the house, and these children are being victimized. Now, I could say maybe once in a while somebody could see if she had pictures of children up and she wasn't exactly all there, like easy prey. But all of these people, I don't know, man. Because even the police are like, how did these people find you? Like, how did they search you and find you out? Like, I don't know. That's what doesn't make sense. Like, a lot of this doesn't make sense, and I'm hoping we can figure it out and put the pieces together and try to make some sense of it.
Okay? I see a guy who, and you've only really known each other for 3 weeks. Really? Yeah, it was a good 3 weeks. But like, do you really love her in 3 weeks? And she's already letting you, hold on, listen. But listen, Michelle's already letting you sleep in her bed, and she has kids. I mean, how many other guys does she have that are romping in the sack in her apartment? I mean, I think hold on, let me talk. Now it's my turn to talk. Okay? I'm just saying, Michelle should set a good example for her kids. And so if she lets you sleep over there, how many other guys is she letting sleep over there?
I mean, I thought that in my head too.
You what?
I thought that in my head too, but I didn't make it
So,
a big problem because I
So
thought.
do you really have a lot of respect for her? Because if she's sleeping with you that quick, how much is she,
Of course
banging
I
other
did.
guys?
Well, that didn't matter to me, and I trusted her word. But I would, of course, remember I was gonna think that because
Right.
how would you just how would
So
you
now
explain
there's
it?
kids, right? There's kids in the apartment, not setting a good example. There's a guy sleeping in her bed, new guy. Now, Victoria, like,
Victoria and Matthew never told me that there was been other guys.
See, okay, if we're going to say that she was probably using her as bait for drugs and random men, the police looked into that, and yet she only got 12 years? Like, how do you seek out men to abuse your child and you only get 12 years? You know what I mean? Hey, Lorraine, good to see you. The boyfriend, right? I mean, did Fabian abuse this child? Did he hurt this child? But his DNA wasn't found on her. And he doesn't have a history. Yes, yeah, Jessica is horrific. So was it like going on in the family? I don't know. I don't know, man. Plenty of Fish is an older person's dating site. Well, I think it was pretty new in 2016. Same. Well, that's another good point, Flora. The same way Jen Soto isn't charged with anything. Maybe. She never answered the question.
I've never heard that from them.
okay. Well, I'm just saying, this is what kids are gonna see growing up. So then.
But she told me that,
Okay.
she hasn't been with a guy for almost a year or whatever for a long time.
I'm just saying that's just, So,
I believe it. I mean, I still do.
but you're describing to me that you guys have had a great relationship.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 3-week relationship. Okay, so given that, and given that you've only known Victoria for 3 weeks, and you say she loves you, does she really love you? Because she doesn't really know
That's
you.
what her mom would say. Oh, my kids are really cool with you.
She probably thinks you're great.
Yeah.
But
and
does
that's
she
what
love
would
you?
say. But I'm not expecting real love. I mean,
Okay,
love me as
so-
a person, okay? And then slowly, as we
Right.
stay together long enough, get to love me like that. That's
Okay.
what I mean.
Okay, so the fact that you're getting your ass beat by some chick up in the apartment and you run off and leave a little girl and your girlfriend in the apartment with a crazy chick with a freaking
See,
iron.
I didn't know if there was any more people there. That's why I just wanted to hurry up.
So you were looking after your own ass. So what I'm saying now is freaking be a man
I am.
and tell, because this is what I'm gonna say. Like I said, I don't wanna hurt your feelings,
Right.
but I want you to be a strong enough man to say, I'm not gonna let her hurt my feelings.
Jay Cloverload, I like your name. Jay Cloverload said, I just finished watching the second video. Oh my God, I thought this just happened. Yeah, I tried to put in the description box of the videos that it's not a new case and going over, the time that the people got. Basically, I FOIA'd this information because I'm trying to figure out how these people got light sentences like they did, if all this stuff was true, and what is true. Yes, both of her kids were victims. And so, yeah, something ain't right here. Something ain't right.
I'm gonna tell her what really happened, because you're full of shit, okay? No offense. The story that you're giving isn't matching up to our scene. If we can explain it, it makes sense. It doesn't mean you're in trouble or did anything wrong. I'm not personally judging you. I could give two shits, okay?
I understand.
But I'm telling you what it looks like and what it's gonna look like to anybody else. So we need to just explain everything.
I understand that
And what
very
you're
well.
telling us, it's not matching up.
Okay, so what's not matching up now?
Well, let's start with this, Fabian. We're talking to your girl right now,
Okay.
and you said at any point tonight, did you go into Victoria's room? Did you look in there, open the door? Did you ever go into Victoria's room?
No.
Okay.
No.
So right off the bat, either you or Michelle is full of shit. Because according to Michelle, the fight that you're describing with you, Jess, and Michelle did take place in the kitchen.
Remember I told you after the kitchen, that's when she was trying to yell for Victoria to try to check on her too. It's recorded. I said that.
No,
remember?
you said that you guys were yelling for Victoria and that you never could go
And you
over
got
there
by the
because
door.
Jess was in the room. According to Michelle, you three were fighting physically in Victoria's bedroom. All three of you, all inside the bedroom. In the
By the
bedroom.
door.
No, in the bedroom. So that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, well-
So listen to me. I'm not asking, listen to me. I'm not asking you to talk. I'm letting you know. You asked me, what are the differences? So I'm telling you. So every time you interrupt me, I can't tell you what the difference is, right?
Yes,
So I'm trying, listen to me, stop. Do you want to know, when you interrupt me every 2 seconds, you want to know what that looks to me like? You're being deceptive. You're lying because you can't wait to explain every little bit to me. Because you're scared of the truth and you know the truth. Because everything that I'm saying that conflicts in your brain with what really, with what really happened, you have to explain away right away. You have to let me know right away what's happening. So every time you interrupt me, I think you're lying to me. So let's just be quiet for a second and I can explain some stuff to you. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. So either you or Michelle is lying to us. Because according to Michelle, the fight that you're describing happened in Victoria's room at some point during the fight, and you were there. You were in the bedroom.
Yes, I was trying to pull Jessica off.
So you were
While
in,
she was down
hang on,
for
so
20 minutes.
answer me this, yes or no? You were in Victoria's bedroom tonight.
I was
Yes or no, you were in you,
pulling Jessica off and trying to break up the fight.
I don't
yes.
want an explanation.
Yes.
You were in Victoria's room.
Trying to break up the fight.
So then
Trying to
answer
get my
me.
cousin off her.
Okay. So why, let's go back for the last 2.5 hours we've been together.
Okay.
Why have you lied to us this whole time and insisted that at no point did you ever open the door to Victoria's room or go in Victoria's room, and now you're saying you were in the room? Explain that to me.
I misunderstood, okay? But I remember telling you that a while back, that the fight did get to Victoria's room and she was screaming for Victoria.
No.
No.
You said that you were yelling verbally for Victoria, but you guys could never get near her room because Jess would never let you get near the room.
Well, she was chasing me, and that's when I kind of like it all happened real fast, and that's when Michelle tried to hurry up and go over there and check on her. Jessica rushed her again, and kind of like threw her there, and she was like yelling for Victoria.
Was Victoria in the bedroom?
I thought she was.
Was Victoria in the
I thought she
bedroom? Was Victoria in the bedroom?
I didn't see. I wasn't hitting. I was trying to grab Jessica.
So did you see Victoria in the bedroom?
No.
What did you see in the bedroom?
I seen the light off and the TV on, and she yelling and me and her like yelling saying please, and Jessica went. She was still hitting her with that thing, and you know. And then after that is when finally I just got the iron from Jessica on the patio. And
Okay, let's stay where we're at. Did you guys clean up blood in Victoria's room?
I know.
Who cleaned up the blood in Victoria's room?
Jessica probably, not us. There's no way me and her did that because we were trying to hurry up and get help, emergency help.
Now, it makes me nervous the way he's like, Jessica, probably. There's no way we did that because we were trying to get help. Like, he says it as a question and not definitive in his answer. So, and that's one of the things I have issues with. Did he help clean up the blood? The way he just said that is very deceptive, since y'all were talking about the deception detective. That was a very deceptive answer, to give credit to the detectives.
I'm lucky I even got away.
Where's your cell phone right now?
Jessica had them. She took our cell phones.
Did
She
she?
woke us up and told us that.
Okay. So did you see her with your cell phone, or she just told you that and you assumed she had them?
She said, I got your cell phones. And we're like, what the heck? She has her cell phones.
Okay. So let's.
And that's why the guy said he found my wallet too on the street and he gave it back to me because my wallet was there too.
So let's slow down for a second. Do you understand now that even the smallest little detail that
Yes.
you need to slow down? Listen, you need to slow down because the smallest little details that you're telling me is the difference straight up between me thinking you had something to do with the death of this little girl and me thinking that you're telling the truth. Straight up on a radar of 1 to 10, if I think you're full of shit, I think you're about a 9 full of shit. Honest. I'm just being honest with you.
Thanks.
So, hey, listen, like I said, we have a bunch of evidence.
He said thanks.
We do. We've got a bunch of evidence, and so like I told you, I'm putting this puzzle together, and the only person whose pieces don't seem to be matching right now are you and Michelle's. Everybody that we've talked to at the apartments, their pieces all match. They match the physical evidence that we have, they match the witness evidence that we have. The only peoples that don't make sense, now I believe that you guys were in a fight with Jessica. I do.
Jeff
I believe-
attacked us.
I believe that you were in a fight with her. I believe that she hit Michelle, okay?
She woke us up and attacked
I
us.
believe that she hit you guys, okay? I believe that you were in a fight. I believe that Michelle bled in the apartment. I believe that there's Michelle's blood in the apartment. I don't dispute that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Some of the other stuff, I'm not so certain about.
Okay.
Do I believe that she woke you up? I don't have a problem believing that she woke you guys up, okay? Do I think she was acting crazy? I don't have a problem believing that, okay? What I want to know is what you and Michelle's involvement was, whether, no matter how hard, listen to me, stop. That's, again, when you start to jump in on me like that,
I won't say nothing, I'll letting you finish.
okay, it makes me think that you're being deceptive with me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that you finished.
When you've already said and you've agreed with us, there's no way that the things that happened to Victoria could have happened to her without somebody hearing. Now, whether she was screaming or not, she didn't have to be screaming. She didn't have to be screaming. Just the noise alone of what was done to her body would have woken anybody up. And it woke up every apartment in your building, except for the only people that are supposedly not awake are you and Michelle, okay? According to you. I'm just telling you what I'm being told. So do you see when I have people in apartments telling me,
Yeah, and that's the other part of this. Like, we know that he was there, like, Victoria was alive after they got back because he took her to the store to go get a Coca-Cola. So, how did this happen? And the child is screaming, and all the neighbors hear it, but they didn't. That doesn't make any sense to me.
that they wake up and they hear banging, something being drugged in an apartment, they hear screaming from a little girl, mind you, and they hear adults arguing. So I believe that you guys were arguing. I believe that there was a fight. Now, I also think that some of the filler in there that you've told me is bullshit. Just straight up. And I understand you're scared, okay? There's a little girl that's dead in an apartment, and I don't blame you for being scared. To be honest, on a lot of levels, I don't blame you for lying about stuff if you're lying. And here's why. It's a natural human reaction in the situation that you're in to protect yourself. That's natural. It's a human instinct, right? And so I don't blame you for that. But like I said, I can't go to bed tonight with any thought that I walked away from this room thinking he lied to me about even the smallest little thing. I'm not going to walk out of this room until we know for certain that we have the truth, okay? And I think that you can understand that because of what's on the line here, right? This isn't some stolen TV or somebody that got a bullet wound in their arm. This is a dead 10-year-old girl, and I'm taking that as serious as I possibly can, okay? And so I ask you, honestly, man to man, and it's just as a human being, whatever your involvement, big or small, whatever it was, even if it was the only thing that you're not telling me is that you saw her, or if it's up to whatever, I need to know, okay? Do you understand that? And I'm hoping that Michelle will be honest enough with us that she can do the same, and so that we can all walk away from here knowing what happened. And straight up, if the truth means that you're in trouble, then honestly, as a man, then I ask that you're man enough to take those consequences. Now, again, I'm not sitting here trying to get you in trouble. That's not my intent. My intent is to find the truth, okay? Now, here's a concern that I have that we see sometimes, and you need to be aware of, okay? We're going to talk to Michelle. They're talking to her right now. I have a little bit of information, like I told you, of what she said, and it's already conflicted with what you said on some point, and you're trying to clarify that for me. I appreciate that. We're also going to talk to Jess, okay? Now, here's the problem. If the story you're telling us doesn't quite match the evidence, and Jess comes in here and tells me a story that does match the evidence, and for whatever reason she implicates you in the murder, being honest with you, then then you're gonna get wrapped up in this. This is your one and only opportunity, and I'm serious, to tell us the truth. If you saw Victoria dead and it freaked you out and you ran out, then it is what it is, okay? If you helped clean up the blood and whatever, you helped try and get rid of her, whatever it was, this is the time. Listen, this is your only time for redemption. This is you might have to own up to the consequences. Listen, you might have to man up to that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, but this is your only time to come clean, because once we walk out of this room and we put Jess in this room, if she tells us a story that makes a lot more sense with the evidence, the physical evidence, and it implicates you and it makes you the bad guy, you're gonna be the bad guy. And that's the way it is. So this is your opportunity to tell us what's up. I need you, look at me in the eyes, bro.
I can't
This is your,
yes, man. There's no
what's that? I didn't say you're getting blamed for it. I'm trying to explain to you the reality of the situation that you are currently in, okay? So if you helped clean up blood in Victoria's room with the water and the rag, then you need to let me know. Talk to me. If you saw her,
My turn?
talk to me. Let's go.
I forgot to mention, I could have sworn I mentioned that if I did take part right there, like in the doorway of Victoria's room, okay? And she was trying to hit her, Michelle yelling for Victoria. I was trying to pull her back, and she was, you know what I mean? Like I said, she was a lot stronger than me, and she couldn't do it, and I feel like she hit, but you know, if she was in there somewhere, it was where I couldn't see. I don't know if she was on the bed or because I wasn't paying attention. But if she was in there, then she was. I'm not gonna say she wasn't, because I can't say that right now. Okay. Like I said earlier, and I'm sorry, because I was still out of it, and I was trying to help, and you know what I mean. It was a little dark in there, and I didn't even think that was even happened yet. Okay, I didn't think that.
I mean, I believe him right there, but he did say, I apologize, but that I didn't tell you this before, and he's telling us something new, so that's not good. Kara just gifted 10 Speculation Station memberships. Thank you so very much. That was so sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that so much. Those went to Melissa Cruz. Oh, no, that was orange. Hold on, let me scroll down. There we go. Those went to Karina Martinez, Amanda Baby, One Way of Life, DB, Debbie Miles, April TN, Clicks Renfew, Lori Dawn, K Court 96, and Rennie. If you are gifted from Kara and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Kara thank you, and I will grab the Polar Express and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Kara. That was so sweet. Thank you so very much, Kara. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that so much. Oh, I love all of y'all too. Y'all are so sweet and so kind. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us every day.
Yeah, I just thought the worst thing that was happening was this fight and her trying to fucking beat up my girlfriend. This is crazy, you know? And I thought she was hiding or something like that and just being quiet. That's what I thought. Okay? And I did not clean up any blood in that room or nothing. No. Because after that is when she tried to follow me again too, and I finally and tried to hit me. That's when she hit me right here. And that's when I finally got the iron from her, ran to the patio like that I said, and just threw it. And you know what I mean? She got mad at me and she tried hitting me and doing this and that and freaking out and saying weird shit again. And then she ran that way. That's when I said, oh, I'm out of here, I'll go get help, even though it's fucked up that I did that. But yeah, I had to go get help. I had to. Not guilty of nothing, doing anything bad with anything like that. Or I wouldn't even, come on, I had to hurry up and go get help. I thought, guys, I don't even believe this right now. I don't. It's crazy to me. But I'm telling you, yeah, If I happened right there, I did not clean up any blood. The only time she said how to clean up blood and this and that was when she was troweling us right there by the kitchen. And that's when Jessica was getting hit still with the iron and stuff too, and she was still trying to get towards me too, and we were just scared, we were freaked out. Come on guys, look what we just went through. Okay? And the thing is like right away, she stopped too, and then she went after me because I wanted to get the door open. And I tried to, and I remember opening it a little, like, I don't know if I opened it, but I remember trying to open it and trying to put her gap in her body, and I'm kicking her, and I said, no, no. And then also, stop, Jessica, please, don't do this, what are you doing? And I'm just scared, you know, yelling too. And that's when I finally got the, and then after that is when the fight escalated towards the room, okay? In Victoria's room right there, by the front door, like, you know what I mean? Not all the way in, but right there, because I was still out of it. Like, Michelle was all the way in, Jessica was trying to do that because Michelle was trying to check on her daughter, okay? And I was like, right there, right now, stop, quit, you know, stop, what's going on? And that's when she finally let go. And then she started going after me, and I finally got the iron from her, ran to the patio like I told you guys, and threw it. And she got mad at me and tried hitting me and doing this and that, and then I was like, what? So I fought her off, and that's when I lost my sock, okay? And that's when she ran back in there, I guess to go try to get Michelle or whatever, and that's when I jumped off and said, I'm getting help, I gotta get help, this is crazy. And that's the honest to God truth. I'm telling you, there's nothing else I can tell you about that. Honest. I just wish I wasn't right now.
I wish
Because I'm guilty.
I wish I wasn't out
And I wish that little girl was still alive right now. And I wish we would have checked on her a lot sooner. And to tell you the truth, we didn't hear her. We were woken up to this. Me and Michelle both. By Jessica being we were talking about, say a parody, we didn't even do this, and she got our phones.
What else did you take out of the apartment besides the iron that you got from Jess?
But that's it. I just threw it over the balcony because I didn't want her hitting us with no more.
Okay, what about a knife or anything like that?
I don't know.
Did you see a knife in there with?
Honestly, I didn't see a knife. I just seen her using that one iron.
Let me ask you this point, Blake. What do you have in that, what is in that apartment that would be sharp enough or heavy enough or whatever it is to cut a 10-year-old girl's leg off?
Probably the kitchen knife, like I was saying.
You gotta get through bone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cutting a leg off? I mean, people use, you know, like a power tool would be probably a little more appropriate, or a saw, you know what I'm saying? So a kitchen knife is gonna take a long time.
Or, like I said, there's that other big kitchen knife too that's a little bit bigger, you know, and then those are the only knives I know she has, guys. Like I said, I've only known her for 3 weeks, we get along great, I still, you know what I mean? Still want to be with her, still, you know what I mean? That's the only thing that I know that's in there like that.
Did you see one that was out of place?
I didn't notice. No.
Did you notice, what about in the bathroom? That'd be a weird place for a knife?
What, the bathroom?
Yeah.
Which bathroom?
Well, the one over by, you tell me, how many bathrooms are in this apartment?
There's two. There's mine, and then there's the kids'.
Okay,
Okay?
so,
But if you're trying to say when I took a pee, did I see a knife in there at any time or anything like that? No, I didn't.
you didn't see a knife in the bathroom that you took a pee in?
Yeah, ours, in our room.
Your bathroom that you
Yes.
took a pee in?
Yes.
And you took a pee in the kids' bathroom too at one point?
No, I don't remember taking the.
When you
I don't remember using the restroom, okay? I don't, guys, I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
I just-
I don't really care if you peed or not, but
I didn't
what
notice any knife or anything like that, no. I did not.
at what point did you go in the bathroom by Victoria's or look in that bathroom? Because at first you said that you did not ever check on Victoria, right? Never happened. You guys never checked on Victoria, you left,
Thought
and then
she
you
was
left
asleep.
Michelle, thought she was sleeping.
Yeah.
Now, there's this big story about this fight that happened over by Victoria's room and you're pulling Michelle off, and that's a
But-
big story that never happened before.
What we're
It never
saying,
existed.
what I'm trying to tell you is this, we thought Victoria was fine because we thought she was sleeping like we were saying, okay? And Jessica never said nothing bad. You know, so we thought everything was okay. We thought she was sleeping because we seen her coming down the stairs. We were listening to music down there, okay? She went back up there and we went back up there and said, "Word," she said, she laid her back down, she said. So then we just left it, you know, because we said to leave her asleep, okay? So this is the whole reason why I'm saying that. And then when we went to bed is when we got woke up, and this is when all the weird, crazy ass iron, weird bullshit started happening with Jessica trying to fucking kill us and say that we fucking trying to do this and that. And
You know what I think, Fabian? I think that we've been sitting here for a long time, for quite a while, talking in circles, and I think
Well, tell me how.
you're a smart guy.
I know,
Listen to me.
But let me tell you
I-
this.
I think you're a
Yeah,
smart
but
guy.
She's talking
Tell
to
me,
you, Fabian.
listen, just real quick. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt
I understand
because I'm
that.
saying you're a smart guy.
understand.
Smart enough to know when that little girl was being carried up those stairs yesterday, that you did go check on her and she was dead and you got scared. I think you were just scared and you knew. So I think you guys were like in the apartment over like hours.
If I would have known that, I would have said something right away, guys. Come on, scared or not, I would have. I would have said something.
Well, how can you convince?
Now, I don't know if I believe that, because if, okay, let's put ourselves in their shoes, right? Michelle's not the smartest, not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'll say it that way. And you find out that Jessica has committed this horrendous crime. There's methamphetamine in the house, and you're high. Are you going to call the cops? I don't know if you'd go as far as dismembering her and decapitating her, but I don't know. I'm starting to question a bunch of things. Hey, Amber. Amber said, hearing the mother, well, so-called mother, tell her version of the story made me physically ill. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it got a lot worse. May this sweet little girl rest in peace. Yeah, it is sad. Hey, Indy. The mother only got 12 years. So I don't understand, if those things were true, how she only got 12 years. So we're kind of exploring the possibility of false confessions, but I do know, per the autopsy, that somebody had messed with that child, and that Jessica knows who touched her last and who killed her, and won't tell. Jessica would have never been there if it wasn't for Fabian, and Fabian, being the cousin, should have known Jessica's demeanor, charges, all of the things. Like, it's, so there's a lot of questions I still have about this case. But I appreciate you dropping in and stopping by and hanging out if you want to. I appreciate all of y'all so very much. And I know this is a hard case to listen to and look at, but if you guys can help me figure out this story, that would be, you know, I would be so appreciative. I like to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions, even if you think they're all guilty of sin. So maybe we can figure all this out.
Convince me of that, because after everything that went on,
Because even Michelle thought she was okay.
Fabian, we're not saying that you killed her or that you had anything to do with her death. We're not. Okay?
Yes,
Do you understand?
but if she wa-
Listen.
Okay.
Do you understand that we don't think that you killed her? What she's saying is, we think that when you saw her on the stairs that she was dead. And that when you went inside, that she was dead and you guys didn't know what to do and you got scared. And that's what I've been trying to tell you, is that people do things that they normally, that even sitting here now would be hard to believe that you would have been a part of, or that you would never do again, or you never would have been a part of.
Yeah.
And we understand, because we talked to people hundreds of times who have done stuff that they would never believe that they would have done. And that's the situation they're in, because they get scared.
I was in my right mind. I wasn't out of it. I wasn't on anything, okay? I was a little bit buzzed, tired from the not getting, but I was in my right mind, okay? Yes, trust the best believe that I should have noticed a little more, but I really thought she was just sleeping around. Yes, I kind of thought it was fishy why she turned around and didn't listen to me when I said, hey, come here, what's going on? To try to see what was going on, okay? We went upstairs. Michelle asked, okay, oh, Victoria's sleeping? Yeah, she laid her down, Jessica said. No, or whatever they said, whatever, but yeah, basically, Jessica said she's asleep. Okay, so then I thought she was just asleep in there. And not for one thought, I didn't think, because me and Michelle went to the room right away, and Jessica didn't want to stay in the living room, okay? All this together should have made us snap, me and Michelle both, to go check on her, you know what I mean? But we didn't, because she said just leave her asleep.
So you're taking the word of your ex-convict cousin who just got out of
Yes,
prison,
stupid.
who had her
Very-
kids
very
taken away
stupid.
from her in the past, does drugs, has been using meth, you leave little girl with her, and then you think that something happened to her
But we
because she
didn't see
looks
it.
unconscious, but then you don't go check on her.
But we didn't
And
see
you take
it.
her word for it.
But we didn't see her using anything like that, and we just thought she was sad because she had to go back to her mother's. And
No, you knew that she was using, you saw her with meth.
yeah, but we didn't see her use it.
Well, you think she was just gonna look at it?
Well,
Come on, you're a smart guy, stop bullshitting me, dude.
I know.
We're
Okay.
just trying to ask, like, we're just trying to explain the facts, and they're not matching up.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I wasn't scared. It's just I don't know what was up with Jessica. She was just saying, blaming the TV and blaming the TV.
Fabian, that's,
So I thought she was just tripping out. Okay, yes, maybe yeah, she was on stuff, okay? She probably was. But I didn't think to do something like that or be hiding something like that, come on. I just thought she was just tripping on the TV because she was doing stuff. And I didn't see her do stuff, but I know she had it because she tried giving it to me and giving Michelle money. And we gave it right back.
You know, let me just say something. I know that sometimes people do really, you know, things that get them off, and maybe get them off sexually even, that they're more embarrassed of what the public's gonna think. But that stuff's pretty private, okay? And I understand that if, you know, you're with two girls and you guys are getting high and it gets people off to hurt a little girl. I mean, it happens before, because let me tell you,
Oh, come on.
that's
sick. That's
Fabian?
disgusting. That's gross.
but
That's very.
you're putting this on your cousin.
I mean, I think he's being honest there that, like, you know, come on now, like, that's a bit much, that's gross. I think that he's telling the truth in that aspect of it. I don't know.
And so, like I'm saying, if we don't explain it, people are gonna think some weird shit like that, which is weird to
but I wouldn't-
everybody.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, Jessica, I've never seen her act like that. Every time, but like I said, I've never lived with her, only when I was real young, when we were raised a little bit, a couple years from my grandma, okay? And I've never, ever seen that kind of behavior or that kind of stuff like that. You know, I've always seen her just act bad and act stupid and the CIFD
Well,
case.
you're the first one to run out of there, off the balcony, and you take the iron and you throw it in a bush, which is cool, you tell us about it. 'Cause
Yes,
but
right away.
this girl has been kind of hacked up a little bit, and there's no weapon in there that shows what she was hacked up with. So since you're the first one to run out of there, you know, I'm trying to think, did you take something that you maybe didn't realize was something you used that could have done that and didn't realize it?
No, Michelle was right there with me watching. She knows that, or she would have been telling me, "Oh, what'd you do? You
She
didn't know
was
what
with
you're-
you watching
You didn't know
what
what you were
part?
doing." Like, we're watching each other, trying to watch each other's back with Jessica and trying to control her.
You weren't watching each other's, you weren't watching her back because you left.
I was, but at the time, that was the only time to get away without Jessica running back and forth and hitting us with
I
shit.
would have found something to whack
That's what I
that
know,
crazy
bro.
bitch on the
I was
head.
scared because I didn't know if she had more people outside.
This is what I don't get, dude. Listen to me. If I were you, I would have gotten a fucking lamp and I would have whacked that crazy psycho fucking bitch on the head, and that would have been okay. But instead, you ran off.
I mean, I'm with her. I would have whacked that bitch in the head. I would have damn something. But then you got to take into account the methamphetamine and how they get the strength of like 10 and 20 men. So maybe that wouldn't have worked.
You ran
scared.
off.
Yeah,
But dude, really,
I'm sorry.
I'm not buying it.
I'm just telling you.
She said, but dude, really? I'm not buying it. Abellis, thank you so much for gifting 20 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. My goodness, that is quite a bit. Thank you so very much. You're so sweet. I really appreciate y'all so much, and I appreciate y'all hanging out and watching this with us today. Those memberships went to Alex Tagspot, Brooke Cooley, Angel MG44, Jay Nicole, Go Sip and Conspiracy, Kimberly Burkholder, Hazy Jane, Kitty, Amy P, Go Jill Debose, Tina Miller, Unlucky 7, Rebellious Misfit, Martha, Tanya Lancoon, Duke, Lisa Cowling, True Time, and Chrissy Jean. Christy Green, sorry. If you were gifted a membership from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you. And a thank you, Abellis. That was so sweet. I really appreciate that. I will grab the Polar Express and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Abellis. Hey, Roxanne. QT, you have to turn it on. I think they can tell you there's a way to do it. The mods know how to do it. I'm not sure. Thank you, Abellis. That was so sweet. I really appreciate that.
Yes, I ran out to get help anyway.
Fucking whack that bitch in the head.
I know, I
Knock
should
her out
have.
and get your girls out.
Right now, I should have, yeah. But I was scared. I'm telling you, I was very
You can
scared.
be scared. I get it. I get it. It's a horrible situation. But the fact that you didn't see, this is not a mansion. This is not a really big house, dude. And like, I'm just saying, with or out, the
I didn't hear
experience
it,
that we
though.
have,
That's
listen
all
to
I'm saying.
me. Listen. Let me finish. With or without the many years of experience that we have in this is a very small apartment, and there's no way that this shit went down without you knowing about it and hearing shit. And now your story changes to going back into Victoria's room, and you still claim that you didn't see her?
I did.
Her room is not that big, dude. You step in it, you can see everything. So is she in her bedroom, or is she in the bathroom? Which is it?
I don't know. I didn't look in that bathroom, okay?
Or is she on the kitchen floor where all the blood is,
No.
and then she's moved
No.
later?
There's no way. There's no way because when she woke us up and the fight started, like I said, when she started hitting Michelle first and then trying to like be rude at me and try to do that to me, and Michelle was like, we were yelling. I didn't see nothing like that.
So what blanket was she wrapped up in when
Well, the
Jess was
stairs?
carrying her down the stairs?
Like a blue and white one.
Okay, and what blanket was she wrapped up in later?
I don't know.
What blanket was she using later?
I didn't see Victoria after that. Never after that, or even look for her. Stupid me and Michelle, we should have.
Okay, well, Michelle peeked in to make sure she was okay, so what did she tell you she was looking like?
She didn't say nothing. She just said, oh, she's asleep.
Okay.
Just like Jessica said. And I went to the room right away, you know what I mean? I was tired, I was drinking and we're listening to music, I was having a good time, and I went to the room right away. I was already tired. And then I was trying to see why Jessica kept staying in the patio and the couch, she wasn't even going towards that room. And I was like, huh.
So when you went into
I didn't think nothing of it, okay, which I should have.
Okay, so when you went into Victoria's room, and there's this big fight now over there, and this big altercation between the three of you?
Like, it started from, our bedroom, and then it went to the kitchen, and then that's when I tried to get out first, and that's when she just freaked out and tried to say, well, help me good, this and that. I didn't. I just said, okay, yeah, she will, you know what I mean, whatever.
Okay, so where's the blue and white blanket? You said it's blue and white?
Yeah, that's what I did.
So where's the blanket? Did you see it again in the apartment?
No, I didn't notice it, no. I didn't notice it anywhere.
Fabian, this is random, but I'll let you figure out, let you know what's going on.
Okay.
What color purse does Michelle have?
What color purse does Michelle have?
Women carry purses, right?
Oh, she hardly ever carries it.
What color is it?
But it's, what is it, beige, right, with the cross?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, beige with the cross.
Okay, what color purse does Jess carry?
I don't know.
Just think, I know it's kind of
I'm trying to
weird,
think if she's-
but like, women get up to walk out of the house, what do they grab? A purse, every time.
Michelle's like kind of tomboy, she don't really take a purse, but Jessica, I didn't see her with a purse, but I know she had a box of her stuff that she wanted to get down and
Where
go
was
back
that?
with. In Matthew's room.
It was a box of what?
Of her stuff and belongings inside Matthew's room.
And she wanted to do what with it?
She just wanted to wash clothes and stuff.
So there's clothes in there?
Yes.
What kind of box is it?
Just like one of those Tupperware boxes.
How big?
It's got a white top and it's about, you know what I mean?
Skinny, deep?
It's like about that high. Like that.
Okay.
I don't remember hearing this part before. I wonder if they find anything. I'm going to continue to go through the documents I have, but I wonder if there was anything ever found in that box. Oh, that's so sweet. You might have to go through your browser and try it that way. A name here.
And that was in
And then
Matthew's
she
room?
had two other little black, one with makeup, Jordan box makeup that she first brought when she said she wanted to stay for those 2 days. And then we figured out, no, we were trying to get her out right away because we felt something, you know, that she was going to be in trouble with something else or whatever. That's the case, maybe we just,
Where do you and Michelle put your dirty laundry?
where do we put our dirty laundry? We put.
Like you take off a shirt, where do you put that dirty shirt?
I put it, well, sometimes I'll put it like, either I'll put it right there in the room, like somewhere like, you know, just right there where my dirty clothes is, or now I've been using the top drawer for my dirty clothes though.
So do you guys have a hamper, like
Yeah.
a basket you put them in?
Michelle does.
Okay, what's that look like?
White.
Excuse me, you put your dirty clothes in the top drawer of the dresser? Sir, I'm gonna need you to stop that shit right now. Glitter, thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. You hit the thumbs up yesterday? Well, this is the live stream on it, so it's a different video, but I do appreciate it.
Why, where's that usually
And
at?
she puts those, that's usually in our room, right by the bathroom. Like,
Okay.
okay, like how, see, there's our room, there's the bathroom, and then we put it right, and then there's a closet.
Show me in here, dude, because I don't.
Okay.
This is the bedroom, right?
Yeah,
This is the
that's the bedroom, the bed's up here, and then like the bathroom's right here, because it's the little bedroom, right? And then, there's the closet, and then we have the hamper right there in the wall.
Okay.
By
Do you
the
guys
wall,
have,
catty
is there a washer and dryer in the apartment?
Yes, there is,
Okay.
and it's in the kitchen.
When was the last time that you saw the hamper, the basket with the clothes? Where's it at right now?
The last time I seen it was this morning before we left. When I,
And where was
when I
it?
got ready before we went to the U-Pull-Up place to get the car parked. And that was in the same place as Caddy Corner by the corner, and our bathroom right there, and Caddy Corner right there, the hamper thing right there, and then the closet right there, and that's where I seen it. But we left Jessica, remember? I was telling you we left Jessica there because she was saying she was tired, she was feeling that, that's why she was acting that way. So we said, okay, stay here and just rest, you know, since the kids are at school, you can rest, you don't have to watch them or nothing, you'll be able to get some rest. And so we left, you know what I mean? Stayed gone for a couple hours, went back. Well, we didn't go back until we found out that she wasn't showing up for, what's her name, Victoria.
Keep talking.
What, where's your car at? Where's your car parked?
Oh, right in front of the apartment.
In front of your apartment?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
car is it?
The Buick Century, man.
It's what color
The
is it?
gold.
Gold Buick Century?
Yes, ma'am.
Parked in front of the apartment. Is it registered to you?
It's registered to Michelle.
To Michelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a vehicle there?
No,
Or
I
just
don't.
Michelle has a car?
Just Michelle, and then we use it together.
Did you ever go back in that car, from the time that you got out and went to the apartment yesterday
They're trying to find the weapon.
and went up for the
Right.
evening?
Before when I went to bed? No.
Okay. Anytime after that?
What do you mean?
Up until this happened, have you been back to your vehicle?
What I'm saying, when I went to, after we went upstairs, after we noticed Jessica not listening when she went upstairs, and I said that's the blanket looked blue and white,
Mm-hmm.
more blue than white. You know?
Uh-huh.
And
Bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Look, I'm just talking away and I'm over here muted. I said, hey, Carlos. And then I said, bad girl, I said I'd never allow a man around my child after 3 weeks. I don't know who would let a mother move in after, I'm so sorry, I'm so frazzled. I don't know who would let a man move into their house 3 weeks. I mean, Lord, at this point I need to give up. Okay. I don't know who would let a man live in their house, let alone 3 weeks after meeting them. And if she had taken a slower approach to this, that child might still be alive. And it's really sad. I apologize about being muted and scatterbrained.
that's when after we got our stuff and locked the doors, and we never went back. We never went back down.
Okay, so when you ran out of the apartment, you never went back into the car or anything
No,
like
no,
that?
no,
Okay, do you know
no.
if Michelle did?
I don't know, cause she stayed in there for a while. That's the last time.
Alright, well, we're done with the bullshit. We're done with the bullshit. Look at me. man to man, we're fucking done with the
I
bullshit.
understand, sir.
So we're gonna get to the bottom of the real story
I
right now.
understand, sir.
I understand, sir. So this started with a 911 call, and they found a decapitated 10-year-old girl on her 10th birthday in the bathtub. This part is confusing. This is what I need clarification on, because Michelle's telling them what they want to hear, and at this point they're believing it. And so they come in here and they're like, Fabian, you're full of shit. We need to know the truth. And so I have questions. So we're gonna see what he says.
Sir.
We're gonna get to the bottom of the real story because Michelle's giving us the real story. Okay? So I want the real story. Because I know that you and Michelle were inside the apartment and that you knew that Victoria was dead. So let's get to the real story. Listen to me. Michelle is telling us that you guys were in the apartment and that she saw Jessica move Victoria's dead body.
So Fabian is with Michelle. Michelle has a 10-year-old daughter. Fabian lets his cousin Jessica move in fresh out of prison. 7 days later, Victoria ends up deceased, decapitated, and sexually assaulted in the bathtub. And they're trying to figure out who did what. Michelle got 12 years, so that tells me a lot of what she said was a lie. Fabian got 37 and Jessica got 50. There was unknown male DNA found on Victoria, and she had been sexually assaulted before and unfortunately had an STD. I don't know where the bloody clothing went. Lisa Lynn, there's also a playlist. I do need to add an interrogation or possibly two to that list. But the first video on that playlist will give you a recap of this case.
About 7:30 and that you guys were both there. So let's cut the shit and whatever cockamamie
You're
fucking
welcome.
bullshit story you guys came up with in that apartment, it's out the window. We're done with it. Let's go to let's go to the real story. Like I told you, Michelle's telling us what happened. Now it's time to buck up, dude, and tell us what happened.
So is she talking about when Jessica went upstairs with her? Is that what she's talking about?
She's telling us that you guys were in the apartment. You, her, Jessica, and Victoria. And that Jessica brought Victoria's dead body out of her bedroom and put it in the bathroom.
I didn't see that. I did not see that. I did not see that. And she didn't tell me anything about that. I didn't see that.
Fabian.
Did she tell me she told
Fabian.
me?
Fabian.
I didn't see her move.
Okay, so you didn't see her move the body, but you were there.
Yes, I was there. And I didn't hear no yelling. I didn't see her move the body, but yes, I was there. Yes, I was.
Okay, so then what happened? I'm not saying you killed Victoria.
Okay.
Okay. Who made the decision to cut up her body and why? Let's talk about that.
I don't know.
Fabian.
I don't know who would do that. I would never do something like that. That's crazy.
I know, I'm not saying that you would. But that's the reality of what's happened and we're here.
I understand.
So we need to know the truth.
Okay. I didn't see that. You know what I mean?
Fabian. Listen, I don't want the next time that I walk out of that room, them to tell me that you were the one doing it. If you're being honest, listen to me. If you're being honest with me, then we're gonna work it out. I'm not saying you're not gonna be in trouble, but Fabian.
Well, no, I didn't.
Right now, you're the only one that's not telling me the truth based on everything I'm seeing.
Because I didn't see none of that stuff. I didn't see.
Okay, so then what do you know about it?
What I know is that she kind of was acting where Jessica was, and she did tell Michelle that, you know what I mean? That her daughter was dead, and she's like, I think she's coming down. I was like, no, that's stupid. You're right. I was like,
When was this?
When she told me we're at the place when we're waiting for the cops.
No.
And then this is what she said. Let me tell you what she said, okay? You think she had heard us of this and that? And I said, no, I don't think she would. You know, pretty sure not.
We're talking
about what?
way earlier in the day, bro. Victoria's been dead for a while.
Okay, what? Tell me
Fabian.
What time
Fabian.
of the day? What time of the day? Just tell me. You're telling me to answer your question. I don't want to sit here.
When you saw Jess on the landing, holding Victoria's body?
Yeah, they didn't.
And then went inside?
Yeah.
When you guys went back inside, sometime soon after that,
Yeah.
she moved the dead body, and Michelle is saying she knew that Victoria was dead. She moved it to the bathroom and you both were there. And whether you physically saw that or not,
Yeah.
at some point between that time when she was moved to the bathroom and to when the officers arrived, Victoria was dismembered and cut up into pieces, and you were there. So let's cut the. We got to get to the bottom of it, bro.
So yeah, Glitter is forever right. I agree. Glitter is forever said I'm on the fence a little bit too, because if he's lying, he's pretty good at it. I can't see his face real well. I tend to watch facial expressions and body language. Right, and again, I mean, you know, they're coming in there saying Michelle's telling us everything. You need to cut the shit. We know you're lying. He seems legitimately like he's telling the truth, right? And we know Michelle lied with a lot of her interview because she only got 12 years. But then it's like, but wait a minute. I mean, even the neighbors heard Victoria screaming. There was blood everywhere. And you're claiming you didn't hear her scream, you didn't see any of that, and you don't know what happened. Like, that also doesn't happen because the timeline puts you at the apartment at the time it happened. So I'm real confused and on the fence. Like, the fence post is damn near up my rear end on this one because I don't. It's confusing to try to figure this out.
Because Michelle's telling us the truth. So tell me what your part in it was and what you knew.
I went up there. We should have checked on it. I didn't know that Victoria was even passed away, or even I didn't see her get moved to the bathroom. I did not. I went to the room anyway. The only time I came out of the room was when I said I was hungry after I used the restroom, okay? And then I made the tacos. And then we went to bed, and then we got woke up like that. I don't know what she's telling you, but that's what I went through. So how I didn't.
Right there. I don't know what she's telling you, but that's what I saw. That's what happened. I mean, I feel like he's telling the truth. Shraddha said if they have DNA, they could find him via genetic DNA through Ancestry, like a genealogy company. And they couldn't. I hope they will. Nessa says, I believe Jessica did the vilest stuff to Victoria on her birthday. It just doesn't get worse. It doesn't. This is the worst case in New Mexico history.
How is Jessica
Was at the time.
gonna say that or do that without me knowing? And then her saying that.
That's exactly my point. You had to have known, because then somebody started cutting up the body of a little girl in that room and packing her up in plastic bags. And so for you to say that you at no point heard, saw, smelled, nothing, I cannot believe that, because this is like 600 square feet. There's not a backyard, there's not a shed. Fabian, I know that I'm asking you to tell me the truth, and that this is the hardest thing you've ever done.
Okay.
So I know it's the hardest thing you've ever
I'm not gonna admit
done.
something I didn't do though. I did not
Okay.
kill that little girl.
I just want to know what you did.
I did not dismember it. The thing was, I did not see nothing or pay attention to anything. I was.
Now, he just said I did not dismember it, distancing himself from her, which is concerning. Glitter said, I guess we would be impaled on the fence post together. Did they have neighbors that hated them? I can't believe those neighbors heard a child screaming at what I can't imagine would be unreal. Yeah, that is concerning, and that one of them would have called the cops. Why didn't anybody call the cops? If all the neighbors heard this child screaming horrifically, why didn't anybody call the cops? So many people failed her. And Michelle should have never had custody of them children. She was not cognitively able to have custody of any child ever.
Just in there all drunk, okay? In the room, laying down. I would have never thought that or known that.
Do you see how different our story is now, though?
Yes.
Okay. So now what are you not telling me, Fabian? It's okay, dude. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to lose my mind with you.
When she told me that, I think you couldn't, I said, yeah, right. So then I kind of thought about
What time was it that she told you that Victoria was dead?
When she told me when we went to the Indian his house, and I was like, oh, what do you mean? Why do you even say that? I said, she's okay. There's no way. I told her, you're tripping. She's okay. Just, you know what I mean? They'll get her up. She's gonna be okay. That's when she said that.
But Fabian,
And then she said, before that, you know, we went to bed, we ate some. She asked, she thought, go get a cigarette. So she got a cigarette, she smoked, and she went to the balcony with Jessica.
Fabian,
That's the only funny thing I can tell you.
listen. We know that Michelle specifically asked Jessica what happened and what she did to Victoria. We know that you were in the apartment.
Yeah, but I wasn't right there when they asked it, when I wasn't there, like, this close. I was in the room.
Okay, listen, you need to understand, this is not a trap.
I know.
I know you
But
know
it
what
seems like,
it's not a trap.
crazy.
It's not a trap. I'm not trying to get you to admit to anything that you didn't do, okay?
Okay.
That's not what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm just trying, I need to know exactly what you saw or heard. Listen, if you had nothing to do with it, that's fine. If you had something to do with it, whether it was a small part or a big part, we need to know. And listen, this isn't about getting Michelle in trouble. You don't need to worry about that, or Jessica, no, she's your family. This is bigger than this, right?
Yes, I don't care. She
Okay.
can ride hell up for that shit. That's crazier than hell.
Okay, but I cannot, there's no way that I can leave this room believing that there's a 10-year-old dead girl in that room. Let's even say from the,
Here right now.
from the time of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. and that during that time, her limbs were being chopped off in that very apartment, and she was being bagged in different bags. Listen, and then at no time, I refuse to believe that at no time did you have any knowledge that something was going on. You had to have known something.
Okay, I didn't, but what I'm saying is me and Michelle were over there with the neighbors inside for a good 15 minutes, waiting for the cops, 15, 20 minutes waiting for the cops, okay? I know that for a fact, and Jessica was in there by herself. She locked herself in because I know that, because the officer had to keep the door open. We're
Okay,
watching from
let me
the
explain this to you. It takes more than 20 minutes to do what was done to Victoria. It would be physically impossible to do what was done to her in 20 minutes. Impossible. If there was 10 people doing it, maybe. For one person to do that would take hours and hours and hours.
This is crazy, guys. I want to take a lie detector test because this is crazy.
Fabian, listen.
So now he's saying he wants to take a lie detector test. Oh, QT, I don't know why. Sometimes it messes up on, and you have to do it through the browser if you have an iPhone. Anyway, he wants to take a lie detector test. He's like, please give me a lie detector test so I can prove to you that this is not true. Amber said, in the fact she admitted to enjoying watching her kids be assaulted. I just can't with this POS. Yeah, I get it. 100%. I mean, and that honestly, seeing her interview is what made me FOIA this case, because I'm like, how in the hell did she admit to all of these things and only get 12 years? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they found out that is true, that isn't true. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's insane, and it's really sad. And I don't know if we'll ever know the whole entire truth.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
I know you're not, but I'm trying to tell you. I would never in a million years would think this shit would happen.
I agree.
More or less, with her not even knowing, if she knew, she should have let me know something. Thing is, if she didn't let me know, she did know, and I'm gonna tell you that right now. And if she knew, why didn't she let me know right away before we even went to bed?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not a parent, but if I walk in my house.
And I was wondering, why did Jessica attack her first when she woke us up? If you're saying it like that now.
So, have you and Michelle ever talked about your past before?
So he's crying and upset, and it's like, I was wondering why Jessica attacked Michelle first, and if Michelle is saying she saw Jessica take Victoria to the tub and start to dismember her, and that Michelle knew she was deceased, then that's why Jessica attacked her first, and I didn't even know that. If she's saying she saw that, I didn't see it. She didn't tell me that. For some reason, I believe him in this moment. And Jessica said later at court that she did attack Michelle first because Michelle knew what had happened, and she was in the mindset of, If Michelle is not even going to protect her child, her own flesh and blood, then she's not going to protect me. She's going to snitch on me, and so therefore I have to take her out in this meth-filled rage and all of that. So it's just so confusing. A name here said, in my opinion, the mom let people abuse Victoria for substances. They left while it went down, came back, saw what happened, beaten into submission, and cleaned up. I mean, that makes sense too. But how could they only give her 12 years? Maybe because they couldn't prove it? The same reason Jen Soto's not been charged? Fonnie said, that's how I feel about the case out here. I don't think there's going to be any more info. He pled guilty, and I don't know if there's anything to for you or if I even can in California. Yeah, I don't know.
About my dad?
Yeah. Does she know personal things about you? Kind of, you know.
Just like, you know, like I'm nothing bad about killing or anything.
No, but like jail, anything like that?
But prison, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
What does she know about that?
It was scary. Just that I did 300 days and it was scary.
For what?
For, what was it? Oh, violation of probation.
What were the original
and the original charges was domestic violence and stuff and drinking and driving, all like all kinds of charges.
She says there's a child abuse charge or something, or?
That was because when me and my baby's mom were fighting, it's not that like the baby got charged, it was just because we were arguing in front of her, and when we got.
So he got 37 years, but he doesn't have like, you know, sexual assault or abuse of Victoria. It's like serious neglect. It's like a neglect charge and a manslaughter or something to that effect. Actually, we can look it up again real quick. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Hold on just a minute. Yeah, okay. So the only charge that he has is reckless child abuse. Gonzalez was convicted of reckless child abuse resulting in death for putting Victoria in a position that caused her death in a Northwest Albuquerque apartment on August 23rd of 2016. His cousin Jessica Kelly and Victoria's mother Michelle Martins also participated. Judge Cindy Leos has sentenced Fabian Gonzalez to 37.5 years in prison for his role on the death of Victoria Martins. Gonzalez went to trial in July of 2022 and was found guilty of reckless child abuse, resulting in death and tampering with evidence. So, he didn't touch her. He wasn't abusing her. So what the hell happened here? Like, what is the story? I can't figure it out to save my life.
I pulled over. Like that when the cops came, you know what I mean?
Like a neglect or something?
Yeah, it was child neglect, that's what it was, yes. And then when I got that whatever, the DA approved it, they tried to get it for child abuse, you know what I mean? But then it went back down just to child neglect.
Okay.
Fabian, here's what I need you to understand.
Okay. But I don't touch kids on any kids like that.
And nobody say anymore, bro.
It's just, we were fighting and that one time, me and Amanda Sullivan, okay? And whatever, we were fighting and just driving stupid, and so that's how I was like, well, how am I getting child abuse if I didn't touch the baby? And they're like, it don't matter, you just guys were arguing and stuff like that, so put the baby in danger. And so I just got child neglect at first, and then they put it down, you know what I mean? They put it, you know how you get indicted? They just put it up to child abuse.
Okay.
And then after that, you know, they went back down when I went to court and everything, you know what I mean? They took it back down.
Alright.
Fabian?
But I wasn't charged because I hit the baby.
Back to this, okay?
Something I need you to understand, okay? I've already told you a couple times that I think you're a good dude, okay?
Yes.
I don't think you're a bad guy, okay? And like I've said many times now, a lot of times good people find themselves in bad situations.
Yes.
They had no intent of being there.
Yes.
They had no idea
that this was going to go on.
And never in a million years would they ever wish to be a part of it or want to be a part of it. and if they had to, if they could go back again, they'd never be a part of it, okay? However, those people find themselves in those situations. What I need you to understand is just because if a good person does something bad, that doesn't mean that they're a bad. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that they did something bad. Okay. Now, in my mind, you have kids, so you've probably taught your kids this lesson.
Of course.
This is the second interview that I put out. It's got more information in it than what's been released so far on other channels.
Say, this is real basic. Say your oldest kid, is it a boy or girl?
Oh, I have 2 girls.
So your oldest girl does something that's wrong. You catch her red-handed. I'm not saying we caught you red-handed. I'm just giving you an example, okay? I'm just giving you an example. Let me get there. You catch her red-handed with something, and you ask her point blank about it. And you know for sure it's her, okay? In which instance are you more likely to, one, which instance is more freeing for her, and which allows her to move past that mistake in her life? The option one would be she lies to you.
Telling the truth.
Right, okay.
Yes.
And so part of being a man in my mind is owning up to mistakes that we've made, taking the consequences for them, and moving on. And I'm not saying you did anything, but Fabian, can you understand?
Yes, go ahead, finish. Can I understand what, sir?
Can you understand from our side, seeing the things we've seen today, and having to investigate what we're investigating, can you understand how it's hard for us to believe that you had no knowledge of anything going on?
Okay. That might be, I might be guilty of that, but I didn't, come on, man, that scared the shit out of me, man.
So Fabian, were you scared that she was gonna kill you?
Yeah.
Is that why you just let it happen?
I didn't see nothing happen, no.
Did you hear something? What did you hear, Fabian? Talk about that.
I thought it was the TV, because she had a real loud,
What'd you hear?
just like loud sounds, you know?
Like what? Like describe them to me.
Just rah, like, you know what I mean? But I thought it was the TV.
What is that, like somebody talking?
Somebody, yeah, like trying to talk, or like back and forth, but my child was there with me too, though, when I woke up, you know, when I heard that, you know?
Fabian, what did you hear during the night?
All I
Just
heard
be
was,
honest with me, dude. That's all I'm asking.
let me tell you, I didn't see nothing or hear nothing, but I did see her carry the little girl upstairs when she tried to come down and wear this music.
Okay.
And that's when she said, oh man, what's going on? Oh, please, you know what I mean, this and that. Oh, please, she's okay. And what happened is I said, come here, Jessica. She's like, if you didn't listen to me, went back upstairs. But they never mentioned about, like, saying that they think the baby, they killed her daughter or nothing like that, you know what I mean? And it was so weird because Jessica was acting shady, but it was like, you know, but Michelle was with me, so I was like, you know, there's really nothing going on, and I know I'm not doing nothing, and I know I would never do something like that. So, but we should have checked, and then, you know, we were just kicking back, and me and Michelle went to the room right away, okay? When we went inside after that.
You what?
We went to the room right away, me and Michelle.
But then you guys came out and had tacos and...
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, but that was right away. We made
Where
it.
did you guys sit?
And I was still in the room waiting for her asking, and I was like, can you remember? And I was like on the phone and stuff, and she was like, oh, what are we doing? I said, just warm up the potatoes and get the meat, and I'll just do the rest. You know what I mean? And then that's what happened.
Fabian, I have a very hard time. Michelle's telling us,
Yeah.
honestly, that she saw, and I'm telling you exactly
But
what
I
I said.
wasn't in
Listen,
there.
I know.
You could ask me.
Let me explain to you so you can understand what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
All right.
She physically saw Jess move Victoria's body from her bedroom to the back. Okay, listen,
Why didn't she say something to me then?
Fabian.
Why didn't she tell me anything? Why didn't she tell me anything? That's what I want to know.
Okay,
I believe him in this moment right now.
so I understand.
Can you
that.
ask her that? Why didn't you tell Fabian something then?
Well, we can ask her. I'll have them ask her.
Please, because she didn't tell me.
Because from my point of view, it's very hard to understand how you wouldn't know in that small of a
Exactly. If she
space.
didn't tell me nothing, you know what I mean? And plus, if Jessica moved her body from the room to the bathroom, and I'm in the room with the door halfway shut, of course I'm not gonna see that. If you really look inside that apartment, you're not gonna be able to see that.
So let's say,
My side's all the way to that side, you know what I mean? It's not by the door side to where, see Michelle's side, you can see up through the door. Okay?
so let's say,
I can't.
let's say you didn't see her move her, and Michelle never told you anything. Okay,
Okay.
let's say that. What I want to know now, and we need to get past, because I'm having a really hard time with it, is how I need to know what you heard or saw regarding Victoria's body being dismembered.
I just heard like the TV being real loud and stuff, but I thought they were just, you know what I mean?
Can I ask you this point blank? Did you start the fight with Jessica because you caught her cutting up Victoria's body?
No. Jessica came in the room and woke us up. Okay? And when I came, I said, hey, I got you guys' phones. I was like, what? So I looked at them and I was like, okay, she had phones, and then I was like, why is she? And then she goes, hey, you guys consider prayer if you believe in this and you believe in that. I was like, what? And then she was like, mainly just looking at Michelle. I was like, what? The fuck's going on, huh? And then she goes, yeah, I believe in God. She goes, you're a liar, bitch. And then fucking started going off on her. And I freaked out bad. I was like, whoa, hey, what the fuck?
So Fabian, before that happened, did you hear or see anything?
No, all I know is that before we went to bed, that Michelle went and smoked a cigarette with Jessica.
Where?
It's in the patio.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know that happened. And if Michelle knew that happened, she never told me. I wish she would have told me. And I would have never thought my cousin would do something like that. That's why I didn't have my suspicions like that. Tell me the honest come true, sir. Please, please, please. I don't deserve this.
Well, we're gonna get to the bottom
I was
of
in the
it.
wrong place, the wrong time. That's what happened. But I did not. It's not like I didn't stop seeing him.
Fabian.
It's
I'm sorry, I believe him in this moment. I know, and that's the issue. Like, Victoria should have never been around these people to begin with.
just, no one told me that this was going on. Jessica sure enough wasn't. Okay, and she never told me nothing like that either. And she was about it.
Fabian. Are you pretty tight with Jess? You've been pretty tight with her since you guys were kids?
Not really. Not
You
really.
said you guys grew up a little bit together, though, right?
Yeah, just but I'm not really. She's just because she just. I just, you know, I mean, we haven't just never really got along, you know, because she's always usually in trouble or she's always on some bull crap.
Right, but in my mind, it would make sense that you'd probably protect Jess more than you would
No.
Michelle, just because Jess is family and you've only known Michelle for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, but it just that's
Yeah,
unfair.
but
I don't care if you're my mom.
Familial,
Okay, I would fucking not fucking take my mom's side. I would, you know what I mean, do what I did. When I got help, I tried to mediate situations the best I could.
Hey,
No,
Fabian.
not have her side.
Here's the problem I'm gonna have, and this is what I tried to explain to you earlier, bro.
Okay, see, even in this moment, he's like, they're like, you know, you're going to protect Jessica over Michelle. You've only known Michelle for 3 weeks. Of course, you're going to protect your family first. And his response is to an extent, but like, I wouldn't even protect my own mother if she had done something like that and I knew about it. I mean, again, I no sympathy for the devil, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's lying. I mean, that would be something I would say. I wouldn't even protect my own mother if I saw my mother decapitating a child in a bathtub. Like, no, I'm going to tell you what happened, regardless of familial ties. A name here said he's lying here, in my opinion. They had come back. They weren't there during the unaliving. So you think that they helped during the decapitation, if I understand you correctly, and the cutting up part. And I think that might be where the charges from court stem from. I think more people lean towards that, a name here, like agreeing with you. You know what I mean? Veronica said, I don't believe him at all. I think he's a lying Satanist piece of shit. Jessica, oh yeah, beating him while they were going to the bathroom. Yep. Southern said 1 minute I believe him, and then the next no. Yeah. The part about like, I wouldn't even protect my own mother if I saw some shit like that going down.
What did I tell you? Everybody's gonna tell us a story, right?
What story?
Everybody's gonna tell us their side of the story.
Yes, and this is my side.
Okay.
To the fullest and to the best of my, everything. I'm telling you everything that I went through and seen.
Fabian.
Everything.
Fabian. Listen.
I'm telling you.
We get, like you asked why we couldn't talk to you guys both at the same time.
Yeah.
And I explained to you because I explained to you because we need to get everybody's side of the story without any sort of influence from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Fabian, listen to me. I know that you had a part in what happened last night.
A part?
And I don't know what part that is. That's why I don't want you to talk to me about.
I had a part in something like that? No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Okay.
No, sir, Bebop. No, don't, guys, please don't tell me that. I know I did not have a part in that.
I need
You think that the fight was about pertaining to the abuse of Victoria? Barb said, "Is this guy the same guy in the thumbnail?" Yes. Yeah, that the picture in the thumbnail is a close-up picture of him from court. Hio said, "Were you able to leave a like on that button in your way in? Thank you." Yeah, please hit the thumbs up, and I appreciate it. He was there for the leg and probably couldn't stomach the rest, and Jessica did the head. So yeah, I mean that makes sense too. Like, and if Jessica made him and Michelle so afraid that she was going to kill them, I mean, and Victoria's already dead, would they help to save their own ass? I mean, I think it's entirely possible. They were scared to death of Jessica, right? So, I mean, I wonder if that could be true as well. Hannah said, or not as well, but I mean, that's what I'm kind of like, I can't figure out, Hannah said, what did he expect? He wrote a book claiming to expose his family and then expects them to want anything to do with him. Did he write a book claiming to expose his family? Are you talking about somebody? Oh, you're talking about Prince Harry. Okay. No, someone else did the cutting. She was beating them while the cutting was happening. Oh. That's possible. That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, Barb, we just pulled it up. He was found guilty and got 37 years for reckless child endangerment, and that would be, bringing Jessica to the apartment because Jessica is the one who got the most time out of it. Okay, hold on.
to know what part it was.
Just because I didn't see it or hear it, I have a part.
You know what, Fabian, I think I'm going to be honest with you, based on the information that's being fed to me right now. And listen, for whatever reason, if we can prove what Michelle is saying is wrong, that'll get you up. But I'm telling you right now, based on what she's telling us, it's not looking good for you. Because
so what is she saying? That I did this?
You know what doesn't make sense to me? Is that you've only known Michelle for 3 weeks. But listen, but you and Jess are cousins. So I'm starting to think that you and Jess were more tight with each other and that Michelle is kind of like, what the fuck just happened in my apartment? And this is my daughter that got killed. And so, I'm thinking someone maybe kind of threatened someone that if they say something, something's gonna happen. Because like I said, no, Fabian, I'm right.
I didn't threaten nobody. I didn't threaten Michelle. What do you mean? I got hit too and I was helping, yes. I don't know why she even did
You were helping with what?
I was trying to get her off and keep her off from hitting her and trying to tell her, run, go, fuck, get out of here.
So what did you tell Michelle, what were you referring to, that if she says anything that you'll kill her?
I didn't say I'm gonna kill her.
Huh? That's what she's saying. She says that Fabian said that if I say anything, he'll tell me.
Bull crap. I didn't say that. Nah.
So she did say if that they both she said they, to be fair, referencing him and Jessica, but I do believe that Jessica said, "I'll kill you if you say anything." And I mean, Jessica even says in court that she attacked Michelle because if Michelle wasn't going to protect her daughter, she wasn't going to protect Jessica. The catalyst that made the 911 call happen was Jessica supposedly woke them up, said, "Do you believe in God?" and started smacking them in the face with an iron. If you go to the playlist, there's a 14-minute video of the first two police narratives, and it kind of gives you an idea of what happened before we get to the interrogation. Abraham said they were probably scared at that point. They refused to do the dismemberment, and Jessica started beating them. I think it's entirely possible, yeah. They were scared for themselves. Who knows what Jessica's connections are? That's another thing. If Jessica is dismembering a body and taking out organs, I think they said organs were removed and in a bag separately. Like, yeah, she's got to be, God only knows what that person's capable of. Oh, yeah, that's Jessica, the one that we think, or everybody thinks, did most of this. Hey, Trailgazer, it's good to see you. He sounds like he's telling the truth. Maybe he was passed out from drinking. Michelle and Jessica moved Victoria and cut her up. Either way, he received the time Michelle should have gotten. I agree with that. Edith said maybe they walked in on Jessica unaliving Victoria and Jessica told them to help her or she will kill them too. I think that's possible. Oh, Angela, you're fine, babe. Nessa said, oh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there with the royal family. Hey, Terry. Thank you for saying to hit the like button. It's good to see you, sweetheart. Yeah, Michelle said everybody was there, but she only got 12 years proving that she was lying. So what's the story? Yeah, and then Jessica's sister threatened them in court and said, "I still love you, Fabian." Edith, it's good to see you too, honey, if I didn't say that.
No.
Fabian.
I said about the weed. Okay?
What about the weed?
When I went and got weed from my brother, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that. I just said, you just can't never, this is, I got the weed from my brother, look, I said, but just don't ever say nothing. She said, oh yeah, I can smell it. I said, don't ever say nothing like that. You never know, you know what I mean? You
Or
just,
I'll kill you about weed?
I didn't say I would kill her. That's a lie.
Who gives a shit about weed? No one cares
But
about
I'm just
weed.
telling you the real truth, what I told her. That's what I
I
told
don't
her.
think you've told us a bit of the real truth the whole night, this whole day. I think we've been sitting here for almost 4 hours.
So now this is all my fault, huh? Really? This is all my fault?
You tell me, bro. I'm trying to figure this out.
I'm getting really super irritated because
Why are
I'm
you
telling
irritated?
you the guys the honest to God truth, and that's all I can say. I would never do, you guys are, this is unbelievable, man, that you guys are even trying to do this to me.
I'm not trying to do anything to you, Fabian. Like I told you, I explained to you earlier. You're in here talking to me, right? Michelle's in the other, listen, Michelle's in the other room talking to the other detectives. So we have to go off what we're being told, right?
Yes.
So like I said, we're gonna only have 3 people that can speak for Victoria. You, Michelle, and Jess.
Yes.
Now, in my mind, I don't have anything to prove it right now, like just sitting in this room. I don't doubt that Jess killed Victoria.
Why would you though? Why?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you why. I can't tell you why. But based on everything, I'm not doubting that. I need to know what your involvement is, bro.
My involvement was, yes, that was my cousin. I asked her if she could stay a couple days. That's my involvement. I did not know this was going on. Never would think that would go on. But yes, I should have checked when she came down the stairs with Victoria. Okay?
Fabian.
I should have,
Fabian.
but I never did, and she never checked either.
We're way
I
past that
understand,
story.
but about the weed thing, when I told her,
I don't care about the weed.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I didn't say kill her.
Hang on, let me see your hands. I'll go like this. Hang on.
What happened?
No, I have a light on here. Oh, there we go. I got it the wrong way. You won't be able to see it, but hold on.
This is crazy.
Fabian.
Hold on.
I know this is the hardest thing I know the truth is the hardest thing.
You stabbed her. You stabbed somebody.
What? You're saying I stabbed somebody?
I can tell from what I just saw on your hands. Because blood, I don't care how much you wash it, it doesn't go away.
Oh, shit, you're saying I stabbed
Fabian?
somebody?
Okay, then, okay, so hold on.
I know I grabbed the iron like that and it was
Okay.
bloody. That's all I know. And I threw it.
A knife, you were holding a
This hand.
knife that had blood on it. So maybe you didn't stab her, but I need to explain how you had a knife in your hand that had blood on it. A knife, not the iron, but a knife.
I had the iron and the iron had blood on it. I didn't have no knife.
No, I can tell.
Look, this is difficult for me because I question whether the officer is right. Because if you think, like, if you were to hold a knife or something and wrap your thumb around it, there's like the little fatty part between your thumb and your pointer finger, right, is where she's talking about. Like, if you were to hold a knife and stab somebody, there would be blood right there. But if you were to also hold an iron by the handle, it would put blood in the same position because you hold it kind of the same way. If you understand, like, if you can picture that in your head. So while I know she says, yeah, you've got blood on your hands from stabbing somebody, I mean, she could be right. She's got more training than I do, but I could also see it happening because of an iron. So, again, it's like everything that happens, I have questions, you know? Yeah, I have to take up gardening. Yeah, I can't. I have to take walks every day after the lives. It's hard to cover these cases, but I want to know the story. Like, I've always wanted the story. I always want to know why, who did it, why did the people do what they did. I've always been into that kind of stuff. Abraham said, see if what the officer is saying is true. He probably got cut trying to dismember the body, and that's possible. But if I'm thinking about how you hold something, oh goodness, how you hold a knife or an iron, you would hold it the same way. Blue, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. I don't know why I didn't see it or it didn't show up, but thank you, Keo, for saying that. So, because that made me see it. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Let me see if I can pull up the live and see what it was. See, it's not showing up over here either. What on earth? Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet of you. Thank you so very much. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Carolina said, I would rather think Fabian has experience with law enforcement and the system. Criminals always know what to say and how to act versus Michelle Martins, who hasn't, in my opinion. That's a good point. Okay, so I appreciate that, and that was so very sweet of you. I think I took that stuff down because it's for fundraising. If you sent me one, that was sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. And I will put it towards the fundraising I've got going on. I've got to get the school to take the money for Madeline. They don't want to do it, so I think I'm going to end up donating it to Nick Mick if I can't get them, because I call them and they're like, okay, we'll call you back. We'll have their principal call you back. And I'm like, I'm just trying to give you money, like, to help out with the school or something in the name, in remembrance of Madeline. We've got like $400 and something saved in that account. Anyway, I'm trying to get them to take it and they never call me back. So if they won't take it, then I'm going to have to, like, donate it to the National Center for Missing Children or something. But that was really sweet. Thank you so much. I will add it with that money. That was very sweet of you, and I really appreciate that. So Angela said, wonder if an iron handle had blood on it. Well, if it was used to smack her in the face, right, and there's so much blood that it poured down onto her socks. I mean, you've seen the mugshot of Michelle. She's got stitches for, like, a good section of her nose. I would think there would be blood everywhere. And they talk about cleaning up blood from where she got hit in the face with the iron. But is it Victoria's blood? I don't know. If she got hit in the face and there's all that blood everywhere, I would think the handle could have blood on it. She did have past evidence of abuse. Abraham said, did they ever confirm if the bruises here consisted with the iron attack? Because I think with an iron, it's a little brutal or would have more cuts and tears of the skin. So again, in the first audio, it shows pictures of Michelle and it tells about everywhere she had abrasions. It was quite a few. Yeah, nobody deserved this. It's sad and it's hard to listen to. Thank you guys again for the support. You guys are really sweet and I appreciate it.
I can tell it was not an iron, but I can tell it was a knife.
Hey, Fabian.
I wasn't holding no knife.
Fabian.
So you're saying I stabbed this little girl?
No, I'm trying to
She's
explain
saying
it.
you're at least close enough. You were at least close enough to her when she was stabbed to have some sort of evidence on you.
But I
Fabian.
didn't.
Okay, so
but I
then
didn't stab
who stabbed her?
Stabbed who?
Victoria. Who stabbed Victoria?
I don't.
Who killed Victoria? Fabian.
Jessica.
Okay, how did it happen? Just tell me what happened.
I think she did it when we told her we were leaving. I told her we'll be right back.
No, I need to know what you actually know.
When I told her we'll be right back, one of my brothers, I didn't tell her where we were getting, because I went to go get some meat from him. Okay? All right? And she came with me, Michelle.
Okay.
And I think she was acting really weird. I think that's when she held his feet.
But I need to know what you saw.
I didn't see it.
Fabian.
I didn't see it though.
The truth is the hardest thing
I understand.
sometimes to let out.
I understand.
And it's the biggest burden in the world.
I understand. I didn't kill that little girl. I
Okay,
had
so
some part in
then,
it.
so then how did Jess kill her?
You guys probably know that more than me. I'm thinking since we didn't hear it, she probably strangled her or something, probably something like that.
Okay, let's kind of narrow things down and get you focused.
Okay.
Okay?
Please help me.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you.
I'm trying to get in trouble for something I didn't do.
No, we have to explain things because I know, listen to me, that
Good
we
theory.
can tell, and we can tell especially, there's there's one male and two females. So we can definitely tell, like, how many males, how many females are in the room when something happens, like a crime happens, because there's DNA left behind, and then we have special lights, and we have chemicals for, things that you can't wash away. And we can see patterns, original patterns, that even if you smear and wash away, that first stain sets in, you know what I'm saying? Like you spill something on your shirt, it leaves that ring, and then you
Okay.
wash it off and it spreads.
Now that you said that,
Okay,
only knife I was holding was when I was cutting the potatoes and I was going like that, I was going like that, and I was going like that. Put it in like that, and she'll vouch for that. That was the only knife I was using, but I put it back in the dishwasher.
Fabian.
Okay, for when to bed. Okay? I was gonna make food.
Yes, it shows up that it did. And I will put it with the money for the Madeline Soto or for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. That was really sweet of you, and I appreciate it. I took it off my page. It might still be up there, but I tried to take it off because I don't want people to think that, like, I don't personally agree with, like, creators having a Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. I think that, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. It's just not for me. And so I made them so that we could do donations, fundraisers, and things to try to give back to some of these cases that I cover. So that's the only thing I use that stuff for, and I appreciate it, and it was really sweet of you. So I will put it towards that. I'm going to try to take them down and just share them, though, when we have fundraisers or something like that, because I don't want people to think they're mine, because I just personally don't agree with that kind of stuff. It's just a personal thing. But I do appreciate that, Barb, and I will put it with the money for Madeline Soto. Hopefully I can get the school to take it. If not, we'll do the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I don't have PayPal because they were going to make me use my name, but I had a Venmo and a Cash App, but just for fundraising. I don't do it for personal use or anything like that. But that was very sweet of you, and I will put that with the other money, and I really appreciate it. That was so very sweet. Thank you so very much. Nessa said, I think he had relations with Michelle when Jessica killed Victoria, and then they ate tacos and then discovered Victoria passed out, and Jessica went crazy and beat them into helping get rid of the body. I think it's possible. I think it could be very possible. I know. I've every time I for literally months I have called them, and they're always like, "I'll call you back," and I'm like, "Okay, please make sure you call me back," and they don't. That's weird, Barb. Um, but I appreciate that, Barb. I really do. That was very sweet of you. Maybe we can figure out what's going on.
So,
yes, I
in
understand, buddy.
Victoria's room, we know that there was a physical altercation.
Yes,
Wait a minute.
Jessica was.
Listen, I know. But there was a physical altercation that occurred during the time that you and Victoria and Jess were in there. And I can't really necessarily put Michelle in there, maybe close. But
No.
maybe you just saw something happen, but I can show you in here. So, what did you see?
So you're saying that I was in there with Jessica? No, I was not in there. The only time that happened is when. What's her name ran in there? Michelle ran in there, okay? She ran to.
Stop for
And that's because-
stop for a second. Stop.
Listen.
Stop.
Alright.
Listen. Seriously. We know what happened, okay?
Okay, I understand.
I just need you to be quiet and just think.
Okay, I'm thinking, I'm trying to think.
Fabian, look at me. Look at me. I don't think you're a monster. Okay?
Of course not.
Listen. We're at the point now. It's not a matter of. It's less a matter of what happened, okay?
Exactly. You wanna know?
Hang on. I kind of want to just know why, maybe, and like what you guys were thinking, what motivated it, okay? Fabian, look at me. We can keep playing these. We can keep playing these circle games. Listen to me. We can please.
Barb, thank you so much for sharing your milestone and being a member for a month. You're so awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. She's like, whoop whoop. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Abraham said, I think she beat Michelle because Michelle refused to help them with covering up the crime or the dismemberment. And that makes sense if we're going to go with Fabian threatened her because she said that Jessica said that she was going to kill her, and then she says that Fabian says it too. So was Fabian, he said he was talking about if she said something about the weed they bought, but could it be that he was talking about that and helping to dismember the body? I mean, I think it's possible.
Keep playing these circle games.
This is crazy, man.
Fabian, I know. I don't think you meant to do it.
To do what?
Let's just listen. I don't think you meant to do it, and I'm not sure why you guys did it.
Guys.
Well, you and Jessica.
Why we did it?
Listen to me.
I didn't.
Fabian, this is the time. Hey.
No, you guys can't do that to me, man. Come on.
This is the time, Fabian, to do right. This is the time to do right by Victoria. What happened, happened.
Jessica did it. I didn't do none of that.
Then tell me what happened.
Okay. Again, she was worried about, okay, Jessica, this and that. I just told her to leave her alone, I guess. Like I said, I was hearing a little bit yelling this and that when the TV was loud. And I didn't know that was going on in there. I should have checked. But
No, stop.
But what I'm trying to tell you is I was never in there and helped Jessica do nothing. And I never seen her move a body.
We know you were in Victoria's room with Jessica when she died.
Well, her mom was too then, if that's when she died.
Okay, Michelle was there. Michelle was in the room when she died. All three of you were.
But I didn't do it.
Okay.
Jessica did it.
How did she do it?
God, my mind was crazy. I didn't know how to say it.
So what
I'm telling you
happened?
now,
I know.
I'm scared.
Okay.
Michelle, I think I heard the little girl. They're trying to yell or something, and I think just went off on her too.
Did she stab her?
I think so. And she was trying to.
Why did she go off on Victoria?
I don't know, because she was screaming.
So tell me what you saw.
I see like Michelle gave stab her, and then I guess I heard
Where
Victoria.
did she stab her? Where on her body?
Michelle?
Where did Jessica stab Victoria?
I don't know, but I
You
know.
saw her?
I just know that I did hear Victoria, okay? And I was like, whoa, so I thought she went in here. And I was like, Jessica, get off him, and she was just going off on him like that.
On who?
On Michelle, and I guess Victoria.
So hang on.
I guess Victoria, but I didn't get to see because I was so scared. I was like, no, please, quit. Stop. I was.
So that's where Victoria died, in her bed. Yes. I know it's unbelievable and you can't wrap your mind. I know.
But it wasn't me. It was scared. I tried to pull it off. I tried.
You tried to help, okay?
So he's crying. I feel like he's being truthful, but I don't quite understand. Is he talking about? I think he's talking about pulling Jessica off of Michelle. Is he talking about pulling Jessica off of Victoria?
So tell me. I need to know the specifics because we're too far down the road to keep playing this lie game. We know you, Michelle, and Jessica were in the room when Victoria died, okay?
Jessica had so much drink and was stabbing at both of them, and I was trying to pull it off, and she bawled at me. She was white ball, and I think Victoria, because I heard her, but I thought she hit, like I said, and I think Victoria must have ran up and tried to like stop it or do something, or try to run out the room, and Jessica stopped it. She was like, and I couldn't see because she hit me, and I was like, Jessica, stop! I was trying my hardest.
So where did she stab her? Did you see? You saw her stabbing?
Yeah, like that.
What was she stabbing with?
I don't know what she was using, but all I know
Was it a knife?
Yeah, I think she
How
might
big did it look?
She might have had a knife. She might have had a knife.
Fabian, there's no need to protect her anymore.
Okay.
We know the story. I'm trying to
She
understand.
had a knife. It's one from the kitchen.
Okay.
I don't know what size.
What happened after Victoria got stabbed?
Oh, stop.
Fabian, I don't want to have time for the
Okay,
God.
listen. After that, that's where the fight happened in the room, right? And then that's when.
So he did just admit to seeing Jessica stabbing Victoria. I was trying to highlight your comment and read everything that he was read what he was saying with the captions. Abraham said, I think when it came time for the head, that's when he could proceed, and the reason why his statement about not protecting his own mother seems so sincere. That makes sense. Roxanne, I will specify that. Can I say medical marijuana was already legal in Albuquerque, so no big deal to have? I did not know that. In 2016 it was. That's interesting. No, marijuana, no. This was definitely the methamphetamine, and he admitted to doing some. You can pinpoint the truth in Michelle's story once the detective starts digging in. You can kind of point out the truth. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't believe he did nothing. So he's admitting to seeing Jessica stab Victoria, I do believe.
When I got scared and I ran, I said, this is crazy. I'm gonna go down. When she look after that happened, okay, this is when she tried following me and she grabbed the fucking iron, okay?
Okay.
After she did that, okay? And I was mentioning this because my mind was so crazy. I was trying to stop it. It's not my fault. I'm just scared. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
I don't even know how to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get it right and think for you guys, but yes, and I heard Victoria, that's why I said I thought she hit. But I guess she ran to come help her mom, we stabbed her. And I was trying to pull Jessica because, you know what I mean? I was right there trying to pull her off her. Jessica was hitting me back and fucking just going off.
So let me explain to you.
And then after that, I was like, oh no, Jessica, stop, please, someone help. And then I went to the patio and she went after me with.
That's all.
I think that's when
Fabian, stop.
I'm trying to think.
Stop.
Hold on. Can I think?
Well, I know what. Let me help you figure. Let me fill in some of the details for you, and maybe we'll refresh your memory and you can talk to me.
Right. Go ahead.
Jessica stabbed Victoria in the bedroom, right?
She was stabbing at Michelle and Victoria. And I didn't see it, but I heard Victoria. Okay? But I did not see it with my eyes, but I heard Victoria. I thought she hit. Okay? That's why.
What was Victoria saying?
Oh, she was yelling. She was just saying, stop, help. And I was saying, yelling the same thing, just like Michelle. And Jessica was just going off.
Okay. What started the whole thing? Did it have to do with meth?
No, I don't think so. It had to do, I think, because Jessica was saying something that her boyfriend sent her a letter that she has to do something.
So then that would implicate that Michelle saw this child being stabbed by Jessica. And they're saying stop, and they heard her screaming. And then, I mean, if I'm understanding correctly, Jessica's stabbing at this child in the bedroom, and then they're screaming. The mother and Fabian are screaming to stop. Victoria's screaming. And then they run away to the patio, and that's when Jessica comes with the iron. But even Michelle says that they woke them up. But I mean, see, it's so confusing. Carolina said the only DNA was found on Victoria at the end of the crime scene was J.K. and Jessica Kelly's and unknown males, right? That's what I understand. That's when the dismemberment started, when he talks about the stabbing. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, there's a lot of embedded truths, and I'm trying to find like the legit whole truth.
And I don't know what her problem was, and she kept, she had that in her saying that stuff. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, he's gonna come for me, he's gonna kill us. He's gonna kill us. I was like, what? Jessica, stop, what's going on? There's no way. And she said that like the day before that, you know what I mean? When she started acting like that, okay? And I thought she was just, just high and stupid, honestly. And
Fabian. Whose decision was it to cut up Victoria, to hide the body?
I think it was Jessica's, because after that happened, after she stabbed at him like that, whatever, I didn't see it, but I heard her, but I'm pretty, everything was just so fast and weird and crazy.
Okay, so let's fill in the gaps real quick.
Okay.
On the timeline. So Victoria gets stabbed, right? Victoria gets.
That's what I've always felt like, Nessa, that Jessica harmed Victoria to cover up for the unknown abuser. That's what that's what I felt so far.
Stabbed. Did you and Michelle leave the house to go get the weed and come back?
No.
Okay, so you guys.
No, we were already back. Yeah. And I done smoked a bowl and everything, and that's when I lay down. Okay? Right?
Fabian.
I smoked a weed bowl.
Fabian, I know you were in the room. We know you were in the room when Victoria was stabbed. I'm not saying you stabbed her.
I know, but I told you, and I tried stopping it. She was trying to stab my child. Yes.
Okay, so she stabbed her. Then Jessica came up with the idea to cut up the body?
I don't know.
No,
She had to have, because
you were there.
About that.
You were there.
Let me tell you this, okay? Yeah, I'll talk. You're kind of jumping the gun on me.
Okay. So tell me what happened then, because you fed us a bunch of bullshit the last couple hours.
Because I was scared. But then when you told me that,
Michelle just came in and told us the real story, the whole story.
Everything.
So keep that in mind. She tells the whole story.
That's fine.
So I need you to tell me the real story.
Okay, but what I'm saying is when she woke us up, okay, and said that weird shit, and started going off on Michelle first, and she was like she wanted to try to get me to, but that's when I just got scared and started trying to help and break it apart, okay? And then it went all the way, we were shambling with each other, and Jessica was just chopping out. I was like, stop, this and that. And that's when we went to the kitchen, okay? It escalated into the kitchen. And then that's when I got freaked out, and I was like, oh, so I tried to go to the door while she was still trying to tackle Michelle and us and try to get us out and say something. And then she's like, no, and she kind of got me with it. And Michelle was just sitting like in the kitchen, like freaking out, huh? And then Jessica goes, oh, we'll just help. No, help me clean up the blood. I was like, okay, we will. We'll help you clean up the blood from her. I said, just leave it alone. You know what I mean? Stop, leave us alone. What are you doing, Jessica? And she's like, because God made me do it. He told me I had to do it. And I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck's going on? And me and her were just like shocked, me and Michelle. Like it shocking bad.
Okay, so you're helping her clean up the blood
I,
in the
I,
bedroom?
I didn't help, no, in the kitchen.
Whose blood?
Michelle's. Cause I didn't see no blood. I was trying to, you don't understand, I was.
Fabian, cut the shit.
See, it seems like there he was talking about Michelle the whole time. Abraham said, take all their statements and remove anything that distanced them from the crime. Those are all lies. They were all present. That's, I mean, facts.
Knock the shit off.
I-
Listen, this whole fucking cockamamie scheme, it's bullshit. We know what happened. She's sitting in the other room telling us what happened. So listen,
I don't-
you're looking me
I
in
don't
the
remember
eyes.
if I seen blood there already, or if it was from Michelle, I told you that.
You're
I was-
still trying
my mind
to
was too-
Fabian, you're still trying to go back to this old story?
I'm not gonna go back to the old story, but I'm trying to tell you the truth, okay? And what I'm trying to say is, I don't remember seeing blood there in the beginning.
Okay, I'm talking about the bedroom.
Okay, the bedroom, I never went back in there, no. No, because once I got off the balcony and asked for help, I never went back. I never went back in
Let me
there.
ask you this.
Keep quiet, I'm gonna go clarify.
So,
I can't believe you're trying to do this to me. Really, I'm telling you the truth, ma'am. Please listen to me. This is a little girl here. This isn't no game.
I know, but you know what?
He seems sincere.
If, I know crazy shit happens and things happen really fast,
Yes,
and you may
and I
not
might-
have meant for some crazy shit to happen, but because you were so scared, you may have done something because you were so scared that you normally wouldn't have done to hide something or something like that. So,
Because I was scared. I wanted to go tell
I
right
get
away.
it.
I wanted to tell right away.
but,
But I was saying, we were in there for like 20 minutes. You know
well,
what I
there's a
mean?
difference if you did something when someone's alive or if you did something when someone's dead. And I
Wow.
can't tell you, I'm just not gonna put words in your mouth, but I'm just saying, you know,
All I'm saying
there's a big
is,
difference.
we jumped on the balcony, okay?
But
After she stabbed at Victoria and Michelle, and I couldn't pull it off, and she clocked me there, and I finally grabbed it from her and threw it off, okay? Then Jessica ran back in there. And I was scared, and I said, "Fuck, I'm jumping off." And the speakers were on, so I went down that way, and that's how I got wet. And I went to this first neighbor, whatever, like I said, the next door over, the top one. She was like paying me off like I was all stupid or whatever. I was like, please, what's going on? And piece of blood. Oh, killed her. And she was looking out that bathroom window, and I ran to the middle of the parking lot so we wait for the cops to come, because I thought she was calling. And when she looked out the bathroom window, I was like, oh no, this is going to take you too long. So I ran just to the next one, which was 407. And I said, please help, man. There's my cousin's in there over there. She's fucking trying to stab at the little girl and fucking my, you know what I mean, my girlfriend and stuff like that. I said, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Please help. I don't know if she has someone after me or what. Please help, please. And then so when I said that, that's when they started calling. I was waiting there with him, and he was outside with me looking.
and that's the same stuff.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there and read some of y'all's comments. Abraham said he can't tell us the exact sequence of events because he would have to admit that they were both part of the dismembering but couldn't go through with it. That's 1 out of 2. Lisa said, I think guilt by association. Oh, well, thanks, Barb. I appreciate it. We're going to cover Stern's trial the same way. Jessica is connected to the Sinaloa cartel. Look, y'all, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think that she's got some kind of connection to somebody to be dismembering a child and taking organs out. A great voice clip. Fabian cut the shit. Lorraine said, and they were more afraid of that person. The second part of Abraham said that's why he skips over when they both flee from the apartment, leaving a big gap in between that doesn't make sense. Yeah, see, it's hard, isn't it, Shraddha? Because sometimes you're like, I believe him, and sometimes you don't. She was booked in with the affiliation. Oh wow. I mean, to be dismembering and removing organs, I would think. I mean, I'm not trying to sound any type of way, but I would question that for sure. I'm not going to lie and say that thought hasn't crossed my mind that there's some type of cartel affiliation to be able to do some things like that. But I could be completely way off, and I don't mean to offend anybody. Did she really? You can organs throw them in the fridge and look for quote customers. I mean, I've heard remove organs. Yeah, I've heard some things, but again, it could all be conspiracy theory. I don't know. I won't ever know, to be honest. Um, Jessica got a letter from her boyfriend, told her to get rid of Michelle because she was going to or did snitch him out, but got Tori arrest got Victoria instead. Any comments? Um, I don't know. Maybe Lynn. I mean, she talks about some kind of letter from some boyfriend or whatever. I'm wondering if this guy came in that she knew and abused the child, and that's who told Jessica to get rid of the child because the child had been abused and possibly suffocated during the abuse because she was screaming or something. And so that guy flees the apartment and says, get rid of the child. And so she does. And then Fabian and Michelle come into play where she makes them help. I don't know. Yeah, did he help clean up blood? I'm trying to figure that out. Was it Michelle's blood? Was it Victoria's blood? I don't know. He was convicted of reckless child endangerment and got 37 years.
That we've heard over and over and over.
Okay, yes.
Okay, let's pause.
And then I shut the door with them. Hold on,
Okay.
I'll call it. And then that's when we went back out there because me and him heard something. A door slam. We heard like somebody like cry, oh, hi. And so I said, babe, I'm over here. No, come on here. She goes, where are you at, babe? And she says, those are exact words. Where are you at, babe? And I said, I'm over here.
No.
Fabian. So this is where we're gonna start the story, Fabian. The real story. Hey,
I'm trying to
you really got a common attitude?
No.
There's a dead 10-year-old girl?
That's what I was just telling her. I said, over a 10-year-old girl, you guys think I'm just fucking around. I'm not.
Well, you know why? Because we have
Hey,
the mother
Julie.
in there telling us the real story, how she watched her daughter die.
So I was in back of Jessica pulling, and I know Jessica.
Let's go to the real story.
I didn't see it.
When you guys walk in the house and Jessica told you that Victoria had ate a bunch of meth and was having a seizure. Let's start from there. Let's start from there.
What? I would have. Jessica said that?
No. Michelle. When you guys went in the house.
And see, there was no meth in Victoria's system. I'm glad y'all told me all of this, so because I don't know. Like I said, I could be completely wrong. I don't know nothing about that, but meth fueled rage sounds right too. Meth madness. Yeah, I don't know, man. But back to this. He's saying that Michelle just said that she took meth and started having seizures, and Victoria did not take meth.
And Victoria was having medical problems because she had found and ingested 8 meth. Tell me what you guys did at that point. Fabian, if you think I don't know the story, I know the story.
I understand, but that fucking sounds weird as fuck.
The whole story's weird, but we're getting the truth.
That's crazy. No one ever told me that.
Okay, so then tell me, if you didn't know she ingested meth, tell me what happened on the bed between Jess and Victoria. What did Jess do to Victoria? I know she didn't stab her to death. How did she kill her?
I don't know. All I
You
know.
were there, so you do know, because you
was
were
there.
standing in the room.
I was standing in the room. You're saying I was standing in Victoria's room watching Jessica do that? Where was Michelle?
In the room.
What room?
In Victoria's room.
I didn't see her do that. I just seen her going
See her do
off.
what?
I just seen Jessica
You
go
didn't see her
off
do it?
on Michelle, and then I heard Victoria, and I didn't see that. I was too scared of trying to help and get
Fabian.
Jessica off after she
Fabian.
already woke us up and did that.
You saw Jess kill Victoria. How did she do it? You saw her. You were there. You didn't do it.
She was
You
trying to
didn't do
kill me and everybody in
You
there.
didn't do it. How did she kill Victoria? The fight was way later. Between you guys. How did she kill Victoria in the bedroom? We know, but I need to hear it from you. How did she kill her?
Are you sure I was there?
I know you were there. Fabian.
He's asking, like, I don't know. I feel like he's telling the truth. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Jessica's was on there, but we're going to check. No. It says Jessica Kelly was involved in the homicide of Victoria Martins, but her DNA was not found on Victoria's body. Kelly was sentenced to 44 years in prison for her role in the case, not 50. So I was wrong about that too. Michelle Martins, Fabian Gonzalez, and Jessica Kelly were arrested and charged with the murder of Victoria Martins. The three suspects were held on a $1 million cash-only bond. Martins, Gonzalez, and Kelly were arraigned September 16, 2016. Initially co-defendants, prosecutors asked the court to try Martins, Gonzalez, and Kelly in separate trials. The motion was granted. In 2016, they each pled not guilty. 2017. So she got 44 years. That's interesting. I mean, because if Jessica Kelly indeed did help with the dismemberment, her DNA would be found on Victoria, I would think. We got 2 minutes left of this interview. Carolina says supposedly the three stabbed and started to dismember Victoria, and they stopped, got ready for bed, and went to sleep, all while having a vehicle easy enough to go dump her body somewhere. Yeah, evidently. I think he's more believable than Michelle as well.
When I was fighting with them,
No,
Victoria's-
way before the fight. Get the fight out of your mind.
okay, so
That was before you called the police. Not then. I'm talking way earlier in the night. When you and Michelle showed back up at the house and went into the house, you guys were in the parking lot listening to music, and Jess came out holding Victoria.
Yeah.
She went back in the house. When you guys went in the house, that's the time that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about at 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
okay, well, no.
Way earlier
All
in the
right,
night.
well, yeah, when that happened, I went straight to the room, okay?
No, I
No
don't
one told
believe
me
it.
anything about meth, okay?
Okay.
That she ingested. I'm gonna tell you, honest to God, I'll take a lie drug test. Just please give me that chance.
So what was
okay?
wrong with her? What was wrong with
She
Victoria?
said, I guess she didn't feel good. She was laying down. She laid her back down. So I was like, but I don't see my, you know what I mean? So that's weird.
So what did Jess do to Victoria?
Jessica, I guess, went in there. I didn't see this neither, but I was thinking she went in there, okay? And she said, oh, I was like, you know, what the hell, you know? So she stayed in for a while. And she came out, she goes, oh, I took care of her. She's fine. She's sleepy. She just doesn't feel good. That's what she said. So I didn't think she really took,
Fabian.
I didn't really think she did something to her like
What
that.
did she do to her?
I
What
don't,
did she do to her?
I wasn't
Did she tell me what she did? She laid on top of her and what happened?
I think she laid on top of her and stayed on top of her.
So you saw that happen? Right?
No,
Yes, you
but
did.
she admitted.
Fabian, you saw.
She told me she took care of her. She's always laying down with her. She said, I laid down with her. She's okay. I took care of her. And I was like, well, I didn't think nothing of it. So now that
See, that's weird to me. Why is Jessica Kelly always laying down with this child? And why are you letting her, knowing what her charges are? I'm sorry. There's no way you didn't know what her charges are. Yeah, Abraham, but I mean, I'm not trying to be graphic, but she was found in bags. So I'm thinking that a fight ensued during the dismemberment and they didn't have time to get rid of the bags. And that would explain, I mean, like what y'all were saying would as far as there was a dismemberment going on, somebody wouldn't help or something to that effect, and so Jessica started beating them. Carolina said, in my opinion, this was Jessica Kelly and the unknown male crime. Makes me very angry that these detectives botched the entire investigation and allowed a child murderer to go free. Unknown male was never caught. No, unknown male was never caught. I just miraculously know this info. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what makes the most sense. Lorraine said, I don't think he would care. Wasn't his kid, Jessica, being around. Yeah, I suppose. Good point.
you say that, that's what she did. I didn't think Jessica really did that. Why would Jessica do something like that?
Fabian.
What's your name?
Corey.
Corey. I didn't see it. All I know is Jessica was being really weird.
So then after she came out and you knew Victoria was dead, what did you guys decide you needed to
Well,
do?
she didn't say she was dead. She just said I took care of it. She was just
Well,
taking care of it.
Michelle asked Jessica what happened.
Yeah.
If she discovered her daughter dead, or she was there.
Wait, does Michelle ask Jessica what? Can you tell me? I'm being honest.
I don't have exact words.
Okay, but like,
But Jessica or Michelle knew that Jessica was dead.
Jessica was dead?
I'm sorry, that Victoria was dead.
Yeah. Well, how come Michelle didn't tell me that?
Who made the decision?
How come Michelle didn't tell
Who
me?
made the decision to cut up the body?
Jessica. I didn't make no decision.
And who cut up the body?
Jessica.
Okay, where were you?
I was over there at the Indian's house in Fort Lauderdale.
No, we're talking, that's 6 hours later. You were at the Indian's house 6 hours later. After Victoria died, it took a long time, it took a while to cut up her body. Who cut up her body? Fabian, it was you.
What?
It was you and Jessica.
No, it wasn't me.
It was you and Jessica.
Don't blame me for that, please.
Fabian,
No, it wasn't.
you had the knife.
She said that I did
Fabian.
it. Did she say I did
You
that?
had the knife.
I had the knife.
And Jessica was holding her body.
Bull crap. Bull crap.
Then tell me what happened.
Bull crap.
Then tell me what happened.
Jessica did it.
Did what? Describe it to me. Tell me what happened.
I know a lot of y'all are asking about the rest of that, so I might try to go ahead and get the rest of his interview out like late this evening or early tomorrow so we can finish Fabian or finish hearing what he said and see if we can figure out more of the story. We still need to watch Michelle Martin's, but I think most of that is what we've seen with the other interrogation that had already been released because we went over that, but a lot of this was in that too, and we found some. I mean, we're trying to figure it out. Hey, one sunny day, at least the unknown male DNA is now in the system. It may be years, but he can still be caught. Yeah, I hope he does get caught. It's nice to meet you, little Beto Lisa. Nesta K said so many questions, and yeah. At the end of the case, there is just so many questions. Abraham said, that I believe he cut the leg. Lisa said, unknown guy threatened them. He's saying Jessica did, but maybe unknown guy did it, took the organs, maybe. Thank you, Heel Sandra, for watching it with us. I know this is a hard case to talk about and discuss. It's like we will never know what really happened. Right, Overprotected? It's good to see you. I don't know. I don't know if we will. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Cindy, welcome back. This is a wild case and it's awful. It was cartel influence, arranged CSA exchange gone bad, real bad. Possibly. I mean, I think I need to double check that. So don't run with that yet. I'm pretty sure I heard that they were, but I'm not I could be wrong. The unknown male DNA stems from a different occasion, in my opinion. That's possible too. There's a storm rolling in. It's cooling down too. Oh, it's raining. The kids are outside. Oh, I gotta call them in. Yes, they allowed cameras in the trial. And we need to watch the trial too to see what's said there after we get done going through the interviews. Y'all are so sweet. Who was Hector, Jose's friend, unknown DNA? You know, that's a good question too in the Jose Morales trial. That's why their stories don't make sense. It's the detectives filling in the gaps, in my opinion. Maybe I watch too much true crime interrogation and trials. I hear the things that are missing truth and lies. No, you're good. I mean, I think the detectives are filling in the gaps too, as opposed to us knowing what actually happened. Well, okay, the cartel involvement is more of a tinfoil hat type of thing. I don't know for sure that a cartel was involved. Jessica appears that she wants to be part of a cartel, but I don't know that she actually was. So that's just more of a conspiracy type thing. I think it's possible, but I have no evidence of it. So, yep, I think the roosters are in the coop. Yeah, we're going to go over the trial when we get everything out. It was one of the worst cases of child abuse. Yeah, one of the worst in New Mexico history, from what I understand, Coco. Thank you for stopping by. It was a blip on the news once or twice, then nothing. Oh my goodness. Well, see, there's a lot more about it too, because like they say that from what I've heard, the detectives didn't do their job right, and so that's part of the reason they got such light sentences. So I could see why it might not be as advertised. And I'll tell you something else. I've submitted FOIA requests. I've got another case to put out, but like I got a whole USB drive with everything, with interviews, pictures, all the paper documents, and everything's for $6. Okay, as opposed to this case, they're making me pay $1 a page. There's over 1,000 pages, and I think it was $80 for all of the interrogations and audios that we're looking at now. So, like, I mean, they want a lot of money for it. I'll say that. So, I don't know what's going on with it, and I'm working on it. See, I've thought that too, Nessa. I did see that there's a new Stephen Stearns jail call released. I sure did, and that's on Grizzly. If you guys want to check it out, I did FOIA it, but I don't know if I'll get it back today or not. As soon as I get it back, though, we will go over it. All right, guys, I'm going to go. What happened to the snake? That's funny. I called my landlord, and I was like, hey, there's a snake in the driveway, and I said, it's just a rat snake. And I don't want to kill it, but I can't drive down the driveway without running it over. So what do you want me to do? And she said, I'll be right there. And her husband in the background, I guess she had me on speakerphone. He don't like snakes. She said, take the shotgun and shoot it. I said, I don't want to do that because it gets rid of rats. And then he said, that's what the cats are for. But she brought a broom, and then we pushed it. I pushed at its tail. Like I didn't, she's more scared of them than I am. So I took the broom and I pushed at its tail, and then he turned and started to go towards her. So I moved the broom up by his head and kind of pushed him across the driveway, and he went off into the grass. So he's good. He's out there crawling around in the grass. That thing was like 4 feet long. It was huge. Oh, Lordy. Abraham said there are certain facts we need to establish first. Then we can try to form a sequence of events, and from the interviews, we gauge the lies and truths. Absolutely, Abraham. Yeah, going over the trial, I think, will help. Absolutely. Maybe you hate snakes. I don't want them near me, but if I know where they are and can kind of control where they go, I'm all right with it. They're outside, I don't mind. Now, in when we used to host on the lake, a rat snake came into our RV at the time, and I was sitting on the bed. That's when I had Starlet, my bird. And like, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 feet away from me, this head, like I'm sitting on a bed, right? And it's like from under the side of the bed up against the wall, I just see this black snake head just coming up, bobbing around like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh my God. So I got everybody and the bird out of the camper, and then Mr. Speculating had to come in and catch it. And then it happened again, and like that, the second time, that snake kept disappearing, and he was telling me I was crazy. He was like, there is no snake in there. And I'm like, bullshit, I saw it. And I would come in and the snake would be out. And then he would come in and it'd be gone. And I'm like, stop, what are you, like, are you playing with me right now? Because it's right there. And he's like, no, are you playing with me? And there was this little crack under the rug. And every time he would come in, it would go in that crack under the rug. And every time I would come in, it would come out. So it was like a whole ordeal. He was like, I'm going to bed. And I was like, the hell? Was a whole thing. I'll have to tell y'all that story sometime. But anyway, I'm going to go for the day. Thank you guys for hanging out, and thank you for the support. I will be back tomorrow. I will see y'all then. And until then, if nobody has told you, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I hope you all have a good Friday. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
tell you